What's going on, stream? Good
Hey,
to
stream.
see you.
You reading
Good to
this from
talk.
your phone?
What's up?
You reading this from your phone?
Yeah, he has a script planned.
No, sorry.
What's going on, stream? Hello.
I'm trying to get to the chat. The chat.
Wipes the bead of sweat off of his forehead. Oh,
The shot.
got it done. Thanks. Whew.
Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Bryce Survival Games. It's where Bryce sees if he can survive a 2-hour-long discussion with me and Josh as we go back and forth
Without checking my phone.
Without checking my phone. And guess what? His webcam is off, so we can't even find out.
No, my
anymore if he's
webcam is
his
on for
phone.
this stream, so
Okay,
you're
good.
all
He's got
good.
Handsome face.
How is
You say-
how is audio levels, guys?
What's handsome in Spanish? Is it guapo?
Yeah, it is
Is that
guapo.
right? Guapo? It's really weird. Like, I took Spanish for 4 years in high school, except 3 of those years were Spanish too.
Mm-hmm.
So I took 2 years of Spanish in high school, and the words that you kind of remember of another language that you learned but didn't like really get into it
Yeah.
are really interesting. Like one of the phrases I remember all the time is it's actually because like Reed would say it all the time, was like tengo mucho hambre, which means like I'm very hungry. So I've always like remember that one. And then I guess guapo is stuck in there. Huevas or huevos for like eggs is there.
Huevos. Wow, I didn't even know that was eggs. Cool.
Yeah, isn't like fresas strawberry?
I
think.
that sounds familiar.
Yeah. And then I think like most of the colors I remember, but I was talking to two graveyard shifts ago. I talked about how that lady had called me about my upcoming trip to Japan,
Uh-huh.
and she was talking about like how she learned the Spanish word for Japan, which is or for Japanese, which is Japones. And that one has always stuck with me long before, like high school was long before I ever wanted to go to Japan. Because at the time I was still like, going to be like a missionary in China. That was my goal. But for some reason, Japón has always stuck with me. And she was like, yeah, I just learned that. I was like, it's funny because that's the word that's always stuck with me.
I since I've taken as like my foreign language for college is like Spanish, we have these Hispanic people now in the kitchen because we didn't before, but there's a bunch of them that like joined. And part of me is just like, do I like attempt to like try to speak Spanish because like I know some, like, is that complimentary, or am I seen as like kind of like, since I might be really bad at it or I might mess up, so that's where I'm like, I don't know.
I think it depends on the setting that you're in. I think if you were to go to a Spanish speaking country and try to speak their language, I think like France is the one place that's like, ugh, like you're bad at that, you know,
Yeah.
like that's like their stigma.
Uh-huh.
I think most other countries, like I've heard in Japan, like if you just have a little bit, they're like so impressed. They're like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like most
I'm
Spanish-speaking
assuming
countries are probably the same.
they'll be fine with it because they're all super nice. But it's more of the fact it's just like I'm nervous. Like I don't
Yeah.
I don't want to mess up.
I really wish that I had somebody to like speak Japanese with and like get better. I was thinking last night, I was like, I need a pen pal or something. You know, like, I need to,
Yeah.
but I think from what I've understood from like people that are in your exact position is what they learn is that they're not like conjugating their words. You know, like we don't have a way to really, I guess like the closest comparison is just like how we have a lot of like internet slang, you know, in English, like American English. I guess the same would kind of be true in the way that when they speak, a lot of like Hispanic people in America, they use like Spanglish or they just don't conjugate stuff. And it's just very like they cut out all the stuff. Like I know in Japanese, they just cut out everything. They're not using like watashi wa, they're not using like their articles or anything. They're just saying like noun, verb, and like that's it. And you're supposed to just like guess, like pick up all the filler. Like even like what I've understood is like anime or like subs and stuff, like they're speaking almost very formal like, because a traditional like speaker, like two people talking to each other, and we're still on like the zero countdown.
I know.
Bryce.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm just letting
They
this
will,
conversation finish naturally before we move on.
They will
But-
just cut everything out. So you'll probably try to do it. They'll think like, oh, that wasn't very good. And then they'll try to explain to you, like, here's how we do it. And you'll be like, I don't understand that. And then you're done. And then you're done.
And then you're done.
And
Okay,
then
that's
you
fair.
never try that again. Yeah.
Josh,
guess.
have you ever taken any like foreign languages? I'm gonna bring us over. Hey, stream, we're here. What's up, guys? I've started now to wave like this.
I do this to me all the time. Hey, y'all. Hey. That's how it's so fun doing the white lady wave.
That's such the way, lady wave for sure. Josh, how do you
You're
wave?
grasping at something.
Yeah, that's how your wave. It's just that peace sign.
Yeah, I was like, hey.
Dude, are you waving in every picture? Because like every picture, you always do that.
Yeah, I didn't always.
You're always waving. You're always inviting people in. Just like how we're inviting all these people in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Graveyard Shift. We're scaling a little back on streams right now, but we're so glad to be back. All three of us, the boys, here together. Now, how's everyone's week?
I see
Ryan?
first.
Is it me?
I see first.
Is it me?
Yep. I vote Bryce first.
Fine. It's me.
Fine.
My project is almost done for my capstone class. It is my last week coming up until this sprint's done, and then it's presentation time. Guys, I'll need you and chat to cross your fingers in like 2 weeks when I present, and pray to God that my program doesn't crash in front of all these business people. Pray to God, okay?
You got this.
Crossing my fingers. I also have a interview tomorrow for my job, so cross your fingers for that too. Maybe something will come out of it. Who knows?
For this project, when you do the presentation, could you just record a video of it working and hope that nobody
So that's the
notices
backup.
video?
You're supposed to do like a demo, and if it crashes, you can pull up the video as like a backup.
There you go.
So-
you go.
so-
So
That's what I'm gonna be doing.
it's gonna go just fine.
I actually did like a bunch of like it was honestly kind of fun, and it makes me miss how much I love filming stuff and making like stuff with film, because we did this stupid like video of this like skit where because like the whole app that I'm building is like a trash cleanup app where you can place like pins on map where specific trash is and tools you'll need, and you can set up events and everything for people to join. And we did this stupid bit where there was trash, and like I had people like say specific lines. It was like I was like a little bit of a director, and like I haven't done that since probably like high school, and doing that again, it was so much fun, and I really like doing that stuff. So that was fun to be able to do that.
I will
again.
get recommended your like photography Instagram.
I haven't
once a
touched that in so long.
Yeah, I know. That's got like 4 photos on it. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
you're still hammering this thing on me. I'm not gonna follow it. I'm not gonna follow it. I don't support Bryce in his photography career. That's the only reason I'm not doing it. Because I want him to know, like, I don't. subscribe to this.
Dude, I don't even have that signed in on my Instagram. I don't even remember the login for that.
The profile picture of you is probably about 6 years, 7 years
Yeah,
old now.
it's
too.
so old. I think it's me with red hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so long.
So you had your fail sad project. What else is
Fail cringe epic non-beast mode project. That's what I
your
did.
pronouns project.
Yeah. That's what the liberals want to call it. That's what the liberals want to
That's
call
what your
it.
project should have been. It's an automatic pronoun assigner. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, sorry for any babies in chat. Ryan's pixelated screen is kind of scary, so I'm so sorry.
That's Joe Biden trying to
Take us down! Take us down!
Take me down. A voice of truth and honesty, trying to take me down, get me out
What
of
are you
here.
doing?
But
What are you
thankfully,
doing? What are you doing
Yeah.
here?
You were streaming.
Yeah, what's up?
Found this. Try these on. See what.
I already knew where my wallet was.
I didn't.
I already found
Biden
it.
sent her in Bryce's room to interrupt us. Him in China.
Try this.
I
He's a
see.
Chinese agent.
Sorry.
My mom got me pants, guys.
Oh, that's
awesome,
So
dude.
That was
sweet.
pretty
Hey,
very
tell your
nice.
mom I wasn't here. She's not Xi Jinping's Chinese agent. I was just kidding.
She couldn't hear you anyways. It's okay. She wouldn't even know. They're probably still gonna want to cook you that steak, Ryan. Even if you did say they were gonna be communist spies.
I didn't say communist. I just said Chinese. But
Chinese
but
spy.
Maybe you made an assumption and a
I
connection
could
that
have.
I wasn't.
I could have made that assumption. What else did I do? Guys, as the known Destiny 2 lover, a new Destiny 2 reveal and free content came out yesterday, and it's honestly thumbs up. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun.
Is this the diaper release?
No, that's that comes in like a year and a half. I think they're still cranking out the bugs on that, and they're working.
Sure.
I'm a kind of like a main creative lead on that. For that.
See, I thought you were gonna say you're a diaper man, but okay.
No, not a diaper man, not yet, because it's not implemented in the game. But I'm kind of a creative director on the diaper update.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Dookie alt. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Dookie alt's gonna be
alt,
crazy for sure.
The P passive is cool. I like the P passive.
Yeah,
but the Dookie alt's gonna be.
Yeah, and we're working. And now I don't want to say anything. Hopefully this won't get me in trouble.
I want to release.
Hopefully this won't get me in trouble. But the diarrhea domain map that we're working on.
All right, what the hell is this? This actually sucks. I've been sitting here for so long just looking at this. Shit is so ass. Please, can we move on? I'm begging.
It's sorry.
Stop,
it's what?
Stop.
It's what?
Bryce, you're
I'm
excited
sorry.
about your Destiny update.
Anyway, Destiny
Tell us about
update.
it.
There's a new trailer out that comes out with a new enemy faction. A new enemy faction which we haven't dealt with in like 10 years since Forsaken released, and we get a new subclass too on top of it, which is crazy. It's fucking awesome. But yeah, that was my week. Honestly, pretty good week. After the stream, probably going to be working on that video, editing that together. Ryan, how was your week?
Let's see. Every time I say I'm going to write down my week so I can have it ready to go, because I'm an old man and can't remember what happened yesterday anymore, and I didn't do it again. How cool is that? So let's think. Thursday, who knows? Friday, we streamed, and it was, some might say, they're saying the greatest stream of Dead Zone. You should have been there because it was so good that our content was so nice that we only did it for 2 hours. Because it was just so good, we said we can't top this. Right?
You said everything we needed to say.
Yeah, we said everything. We said everything. Actually, we're not streaming now because we said it all. What is that quote? Call it an ugly twink the way it cannot be topped. Like,
Yeah.
Whoa!
we did it. So don't go watch the VOD because maybe
It's not
like
even
so
there.
annoying that
Actually,
you'll
I'm
die.
actually checking
It
right
is
now. It's
there.
not even there.
Because this who has 2 thumbs and forgot to delete the VOD? This guy.
Don't worry. This guy with 2 thumbs is deleting the VOD.
With his thumbs. It's hard. It's actually really hard to do.
It's actually really hard.
Then for the weekend, who knows? Yeah, who knows? I was like really trying to think about it. And then Monday I had my interview for this new job that I'm trying to keep my current job and get the second one to make massive money so we can finally buy our Dead Zone content house.
Yeah.
Right. So you guys don't even have to worry about getting
For
jobs. So I can just
you.
support you from my bosom. And then,
Yes,
then we're just
sir.
good. Y'all will just be my like concubines. You'll live in the content house.
Yes!
I will-
Yes!
Yeah. I will bleed you of every bit of content that I can. You will be my horse that I'm beating like that little Lalafell creature with many a hammer. Tuesday was yesterday? Who even knows? That was so long ago. That was like 24 hours ago. Who cares and who knows? I know that I read a lot of Dune. I'm sure we'll have our inevitable Dune discussion this stream. Maybe we'll save it for after Josh's week because I want to hear about that. I did get a haircut yesterday, and she effed me up. She effed me up.
I think
good.
it looks good. I don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you, and I'm in love with you. But no.
Okay.
Because the last haircut I got, I was feeling it. This one, she got me so short. Maybe that's better. I don't know. I'm trying not to look like a British punk kid, okay? I'm trying to look hot and sexy.
Well,
But what I did do, I got home and I was so disappointed with the haircut because I keep telling these losers at Great Clips, okay? I keep telling them that I don't want sideburns at all. I want to say, you know what a sideburn is? Not anymore. Get rid of it. Get it out of here. I don't want those things.
Mhm.
And they keep giving me mutton chops like all the way down here. And I'm like, well, if you're going to do that, can you at least like blend it a little bit? And she says, no, faggot. No, we're not doing that. I'm gay. I can say that. It's okay. Everybody chill out. So I got home and you can tell I decided, okay, I'm actually just going to shave it to the bone. So she had it like down here and I said, F that. And I brought it up to here. So I think it looks a lot better that way.
Yeah. I think it looks good.
Okay.
I honestly think you're call me Resident Straighty. I think it looks good. It looks fine. I think you're stressing.
Yeah, I'm always stressed out. I'm always stressing, Bryce.
Well, don't, because I'm here, Josh is here, and we care about you. That's all.
I think when we get to my little planned content for this, you'll see just how stressed out I might be.
Whoa.
See just how stressed out I might be when we get our little results screen later.
Sure.
Other than that, today I went to work. I went to the gym with Reed, and my arms, I can't move my arms anymore, except when I'm doing my Trump impression. I'm saying it's the greatest Trump impression. Then I'm done. Joshua, your turn. Why am I so blurry, by the way? Sorry, why am I so blurry?
Dude, that's what
I
I'm
don't know,
saying.
your reference been
It's
like
so
fucked up.
scary.
Anyways, so my week. Yeah, we shooting on Friday was fucking awful. I'm just gonna come out and say it. It just fucking sucked. Kind of vibed on the weekend. I don't think anything crazy happened. And then Monday nights, I don't know if y'all know this, but Regal does this thing where they'll show like a mystery movie, and it's only $5 for a ticket. And the mystery movie is always like a movie that's about to come out, like an upcoming movie that's yet to be released. And so Kathy and I went to one. It was our 7 month. So we decided to go out and go, and we didn't know if it was going to be anything good or what. And yeah, it was not very good. It was a movie called The Long Game, which is about a Hispanic golf team. It was a true story.
We need to start one of
and
those.
it was not. What's up?
We need to start one of those.
Well, okay, hold on. Wait, listen to this though. Okay, so the movie
itching
takes
to.
place in like the 50s, 60s or whatever. Okay, like all of the budget went into hiring like Dennis Quaid,
Oh, so
and
this is a religious movie?
it wasn't, but it felt like it. Like it could have been. So it was Dennis Quaid, this other guy, I can't remember his name, and then the uncle from Spy Kids. Like all of the money went into those guys.
Danny
And so
Trejo?
not him.
That's the
the
uncle from Spy Kids.
I know what you're talking about.
No, I'm not talking about Machete. I'm talking about the other one. Like he's like the little one with the mustache.
I thought that was Machete.
No. I don't know how to explain it.
It's okay, it's
I'll find
alright.
it for you
We
later.
need to interrupt this whole story.
Yeah.
Find out.
Okay. Anyways, the budget went to those three guys. So the thing takes place in the 50s, 60s, dude. Just not at all. Like it's shot in modern homes that they did not put any effort into like period piecing. They're sitting at modern like tables
It's like a
and
Wayfair
shit.
ad.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so the whole thing looks like it's shot on an iPhone. Like in a good way, like in like you see an Apple commercial and it's like shot on an iPhone or something. It seems like that. The whole thing is like way too crisp and clear. The camera work is very dynamic in a strange way.
like hand cam kind of thing?
Yeah, there's hand cam, but there's like all these sweeping shots across the golf course.
It's found footage Hispanic golf.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's
And
showing
then,
you we really found these guys.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so then yeah, I don't know. It was not very good, but it was fun to go. Like it was fun to go, and a lot of the people that were there, there were people that did just get up and leave like halfway through the movie. But there were people that were there, and it sounded like they go like every week. Like they go every week. It's kind of like their little thing, and it's more about like the experience of going,
Yeah.
rather than like what it is you actually see. And so that was pretty cool. Like I was like, yeah, I
You
get that.
talking about it on over text made me want to go on Mondays.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, it
sounds
was
like
cool.
really fun.
It was fun. It was like not a great movie. Like it was so funny because we were sitting there, we were like, "What's it gonna be?" And like I was like, "I don't know. Do you think it's gonna be Inside Out 2? Like, do you think it's gonna be like this?" And then it like was like
Muchos Mas Media presents. And I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no. And then he gets out of bed and picks up a golf
Inside
club.
Out
I was like,
2.
oh no.
It's Inside Out too.
Yeah, it's still that. Yeah.
Dude, literally, I was just, but like every shot, I was like, no fucking way. It just got worse than the last. And I was like, all of a sudden, I was getting like strapped into exactly what kind of movie we were about to be watching.
That's so
I'll
funny.
I'll never get over like in a movie, you know, when you're about to watch the movie, like it's finally about to be the movie after the commercials, and
Yeah.
you go through like Popcorn Island and the soda
Yeah.
fountain world, you know, you're like riding on the thing, and then you're like, oh, finally, like here we are, time to watch Hispanic golf team movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just went through all these beautiful scenes of like Candy Island. And
Well,
he's
like
oh,
I'm sure that like every time they show one of those, it is a movie like that. Like it's never gonna be like kind of a blockbuster thing that they're showing
Yeah.
there. But I am just curious, like if that is ever actually the case. Like if that is the case, that like one of those weeks it will be one of those, and we just happen to get the long game. But
How much was it? You said $5?
yeah, it was like $5 a ticket. Yeah.
That's
Sure,
actually
cool. Yeah.
fire.
I was saying that we should do that as a Dead Zone in person.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Do a little car post movie review. Cool.
Yeah. That'd be good. That'd be
Or we could even record
yeah.
ourselves like commentating live in the theater.
during the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. Maybe we can get like some of the theater guys, like we'll set up a table and they can join in, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, if
Yeah.
you want to record the movie, we'll let you like sit here at the table with us and like review the movie with us and watch it with us. I'm
That
sure we
would
could
be-
find somebody to do that though, actually. I'm
That
sure
would be
some,
crazy. Yeah.
some like high 16-year-old working at the movie theater to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Josh both worked at a movie theater. I think we'd both just let you. We'd be like, yeah, that's cool.
So if somebody asked you to watch the movie with them while you were working at Regal, I was like, hey, watch the movie with us and like be in this video of us reviewing the movie live, would you say yes?
I don't.
Would you be
know.
too afraid
I've-
of
No,
losing
I
your
yeah,
job?
no, I wouldn't be afraid of losing my job because I fucking hated it anyways. But it's more of the fact
Okay,
of
now.
just like I wouldn't know you, so I'd be like, what? What does that mean? I'm like,
Well, you're the extrovert of us, so
I guess,
But
but
here's
it's,
the
just,
thing is-
it's more of just like a 16-year-old asking them to be in a thing while we're watching a movie. It's a little weird. If that's
I
what
would
you're wondering.
want to so bad. Like I would be like, this is gonna be awesome, but I wouldn't do it because I'd be too afraid of like losing my job and getting in trouble and stuff like that. But I would every day for the rest of my life. I would think about that and regret that I didn't go along.
See,
with
then
it.
you go on YouTube like in a month and you see it up there. It's like millions of views, millions of
Yeah, I
views.
know,
He's
I
the new
know.
like Alex at Target, the guy that said yes to it or whatever, and you missed your shot. Now you maybe
Want to kill
you're a
yourself?
loser. Yeah, I was going to say that on screen, but yeah.
I already want to kill myself, so that would be the thing that does it. I think.
Aaron, I've been seeing your comments in the chat, and I just want you to know that we can't respond to them because this is pre-recorded. Sorry.
That's so funny.
Yes,
That's
yes.
funny. All right. I think that's pretty much it for my week.
Sick.
The boys are both so close to be done with school.
Oh,
Thank God.
I don't want to talk about this.
Okay, all right, cool.
I just do
Awesome.
not want to talk about it. That's so crazy to me.
Oh,
It like
man.
freaks me
Yeah.
out.
I'll talk about it. I'm almost done. Thank fucking God. Thank fucking God I'm almost done. I've been in fucking college for like 6 years. I'm done.
And we love you for it. Love you. Aaron, don't stay jealous. You willingly just went back
Yeah,
to school.
you willingly
Okay.
went back.
How about you shut up?
Also, this is pre-recorded.
Only
We can't even read
misogynist
your
thrown back to
messages.
silence a woman because quiet. Somebody mute Aaron in the chat. This is pre-recorded anyway.
Y'all know about Turkish Quandale Dingle?
I do know about
I
Turkish
feel like I've seen-
Quandale Dingle. Is that part of the Riz
I've seen
House
this one
party?
TikTok.
The TikTok Riz Party group.
Riz party
Yeah.
group, yeah.
What?
Yeah, you don't want to with
yeah,
DJ fucking Quandale or whatever. I don't remember.
No, my
There's a whole
TikTok has been
poster for
skipping
it.
through the Dong Q Long glycine, food grade, industrial grade glycine. That's been my aid.
What are you saying?
Yeah, see, we're just on different levels here. We're just on different levels here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about Turkish Quandale Dingle, dog.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about
Okay,
this.
the
Quandale
thing, that is the crazy. Imagine you wake up one morning
and the whole internet knows you as Turkish Quandale Dingle. Like,
There's no context to that for me to scrabble at anything
okay,
here.
so you know the TikTok. Have you seen anything about the TikTok Riz Party?
No.
Okay, so I from what I understand of it, I don't keep up with all the lore here. Okay, but from what I understand is someone at these kids' school, like high school, had like a Sweet 16 party, and it was like some TikTok themed party, and I guess you were just supposed to go in and go crazy like you were at the club, and they were gonna like film it and make TikToks out of it or whatever. So there was this friend group of dudes, and they like made a video or two, and like they just got a lot of attention, and people like labeled every member of their friend group. There's like a leader of the friend group, and then there's Turkish Quandale Dingle, who like at some point they claim he tries to challenge the leadership of the alpha, but he ends up winning the alpha's respect and then kind of falls in line. And it's like crazy. Anyway, so it's dumb. It is as dumb as it sounds. But my point of bringing it up was, imagine you wake up one day and the whole internet knows who you are and like has developed this lore for your entire life and has named you Turkish Quandale Dingle. Come on, dude. That
Alright,
sucks.
let's just
Does it suck? I love that kind of.
That is so funny. Turkish Quandale Dingle.
This is what we're talking about, by the way, guys.
Oh, React content. Yes.
This is the TikTok Riz Party, sponsored by
Oh,
Toke.
I've seen that boy's face. Yeah, I've seen that picture.
Which one? This one right here?
Just the group of boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that picture.
Yeah, the guy in the tie is the leader.
Wait, where's Turkish Quandale Dingle?
Turkish Quandale. Hold on. Go to the one with all of them.
The one on the right looks Turkish.
This is the one with all of them.
No, hold on. Scroll down. Oh, there he is. Hold on. See the guy outlined in the blue and green picture down below.
Blue and green.
It's like
picture.
bottom right.
Yeah.
This one right here.
No, search result. Image
It's like a
result.
TikTok frame. It's like,
Yeah, it's like a TikTok frame.
yeah, well, he's in that one too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's him. That's Turkish.
That's not Turkish Quandale Dingle. That's Christopher Moltisanti. I don't know what to tell you.
I know. It looks just like Christopher. I know. That looks
Dude,
just like Christopher.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
anybody that's Italian looks like Christopher.
Well, he's not. He's Turkish. He's Turkish.
Turkish.
Dude. He's Turkish.
There's a dude.
Although Turkish is what?
It's in
Turkish,
his
like,
name.
is like Italian and Arabic, like met in the middle.
Yeah, well,
Ottoman Empire.
it's his name.
There's
Turkish
a kid I
Quandale
work
Dingle.
with, Jack, who's like Italian. I swear it looks exactly like Christopher from Sopranos. Christopher. Get some Christopher emotes in chat. Get some Christopher emotes in the chat.
I actually added that same picture like weeks before I made it an emote here in the channel. I made it a reaction image on my work Slack. So whenever
That's so funny.
I've got a lot of I've got a Diet Sierra Mist Cranberry Splash. I've got a cinnamon Coke. Somebody asked me to add a Baja Blast, so I added the Baja Blast. Then one of my managers asked me to add a Code Red, so I added a Code Red. I've got the other emote that we have with the guy going.
Mm-hmm.
That's in there. I've got Christopher. I've got Pajama Sam.
Why does
Pajama Sam?
Why does your work sound like so like unserious?
It's more just like I'm the unserious guy there.
Yeah.
So it's funny, like people will say things and they'll be like, hey, can you help me with whatever? And I just respond with like the inflated Pajama Sam. And they're like, okay, cool. Guess that means you're on it. So, and it does. It means I'm on it. So
That's awesome.
But if I submit something, like we call it like IR, like if I submit something and it gets approved and then or if it gets denied, I add that Christopher, which means like, come on, like I wanted this to work out well and it did not work out well for me. Yeah. If something good happens.
I'm so
respond
glad
with,
you're
like,
speaking in tongues to your coworker. And by
that's kind of what it
tongues-
is. Yeah. Yeah.
They're slowly developing. He's like,
I
wait,
love
hold
it.
on, get the Ryan hieroglyphic
Well,
chart. So Pajama Sam is okay. Wait, what's Christopher? No, Christopher's bad. Christopher's bad.
Christopher's
Wait,
bad.
wait,
Christopher's
hold on,
bad.
wait, wait.
You don't want
Do you think-
Christopher.
Do you think you send these and like one of your coworkers is like this fucking guy again? Like, you know,
I don't do it to people I don't know. Like I've already have to have like some kind of rapport with them. But
Yeah.
at the time, my person that's currently my manager, at a certain time, she was my manager's manager. And at that time, I was still leaving her these things, and she thought that I was making fun of her for a little while because she didn't get that like this meant like I love you, you know, like she didn't get that this meant like we have a good
Yeah.
work relationship, you know. And so she was like, she said to like my boss at the time, she was like, "Is he making fun of me?" Like, it's like, no, this is because like I don't know. I'm here with I'm here to give you a diet serum Miss Cranberry splash to show like thank you, you know, whatever it is. I think it was specifically when I did the
Ryan, dude, this is some faggotry, dude. Like I love it. I think it's awesome, but this is faggotry right here.
It's great. Hey, look, I'm full range at this company. She
Yeah.
told me on our one-on-one yesterday. She's like, "I'm quitting before you leave. I can do anything I want." So I'm chilling out. So
That's fire.
Preston texted me yesterday, and I don't know if because I haven't really explained this dynamic with him too much, but he was like, "Do you feel like you have survivor's guilt for the job you have?" I was like, "Because like I have one and other people don't, or what?" He's like, "No, just because of like how much freedom you get there." I was like, "Yeah, kind of." Like I've got some privileges there. So, and one of them is being able to add my own emojis to the chat and respond with maybe I need to add a Turkish Quando Dingle.
Turkish Quando,
What
yeah.
my manager at the time is not anymore. He asked me, remember when people were the meme was going on of the Nemo kid doing the "Where's my dad?" and he's like holding up the Nemo puppet. Anybody remember this?
Yes,
It was like,
yeah.
It was like a 5-second meme.
yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
it existed for no time. Yeah, he was like, "Hey, can you add that?" And so I added that for him. So we used that for like 2 weeks, and then we stopped using it.
That's crazy.
You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome.
That is crazy.
We started because there were some that were like people have uploaded throughout the years, like before I was there. And there's one of this like little, it looks like Mike Wazowski, like if he was made like 4 years earlier in like CGI programs by some like Chinese off-brand company. He goes like, so I use that one all the time because it's so funny. And then there's like this little dancing elephant. Oh, that's when she thought I was making fun of her because the joke is like, it's earnest, but it's like, I don't know how to describe the levels of irony that are at play here. And there's one of like these three, like, you know, just the white like stick figure guys, and they're all like doing like this, like a high five. And I use that one sometimes, and it's funny because it's like that's what like, or you know, the librarian on Family Guy, she's like always does the easy puns, like the, you know, that you know what I'm talking about. And Peter's like, "Oh, I like you." Yeah, that's what a lot of the people that work there are like. They're that office lady type woman. So I kind of play with that. You know what I mean?
Ryan, this is crazy.
It's funny.
This is like
great.
wild.
You got to be there. You just got to be there.
Ryan's like doing his own like Stanford prison experiment. Like, with his coworkers. Like this is.
You don't remember when I
great.
laminated a piece of ham at Morgan Creek? Okay,
I do
I've got to have my
remember.
little office bits. All right,
Great.
not the office, but I have to be in an office.
You know
and have
what?
little bits.
I wonder why that is. And I think we can find out because didn't we take a test about this? Ryan, what were your
Wow,
results
what a
on this?
great, wow, what a great segue.
Whoa.
Was
You know
that on it or what?
That was perfect, first of all. And it kind of seems like by you doing that kind of bit that you perfectly understand the bit that I'm doing at work. That's all I'm saying. But yeah,
I think the way you're doing it work is so funny. Genuinely, that's
thank
great.
you. Oh my gosh, thank
It's
you.
insane. I think it's so funny.
I'm like obsessed with you.
You have my permission. Yeah. Keep doing it.
Thank you so much. Because if you didn't give me permission, I'd probably stop.
You probably
That's how
stop.
much-
Yeah.
I'd probably stop. So much I honor and respect you in your opinion. That is true though. If somebody tells me I'm not funny, like I'm gonna kill myself. So I sometimes for this graveyard shift now, I will scour Reddit because not in the same way that Josh does, where he's like, "Oh, let me find a good relationship," because that's his own good thing. I'll do it because I just get so fascinated by the stupidity of people that I'm like, I have to talk about these people. So scrolling through, and I got a lot of ideas to talk about. But something interesting that was somebody on the Gen Z subreddit. I realize how fast I'm talking right now. I don't know why. Somebody on the Gen Z subreddit posted their results of a personality test. And before we get into this, we all took it, and we're going to share our results here. Before we get into it, we are not endorsing that these things are like real, that they actually mean anything. They're just for fun, okay? They're just fun little tests. Does it mean that you take a personality test and you find out you're autistic? Yes, and it's scientifically accurate, okay? If you take an IQ test and it says you get a 180, it's scientifically accurate. That's what I'm endorsing.
I knew it.
That's what I'm endorsing, okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we took this personality test. I think it'd be interesting for us to share results that we got. Who wants to go first? Any volunteers?
I volunteer Ryan.
I
That's
volunteer.
Whoa, whoa, great. So I guess I'll just if I share my screen and take my camera off, I wonder if that will keep me in the thingy. Does that make any sense?
Are you saying you want to share your screen?
I guess actually I can just.
You send me a screenshot and I can do it that way.
I was just gonna read mine off, dude.
Well, there's like percentages in here and everything. So
Yeah, I was gonna say the percentage.
give me my. I'll send it over to you. B. Actually, you know what? I can do it from here. Oh. Here you go.
Turkish Quandel Dingle.
Yeah, that's great. How are you doing, Bryce?
What'd you do? Did you give me a picture?
I texted it to you. I guess I could send it.
Yeah, send it through Discord.
Discord. If I paste, oh, that worked. I sent it to the dead.
Okay, sick.
So while he gets that pulled up, I'm gonna explain. This is called the multiphasic personality test. And actually, why don't I send it in the chat so anybody that wants to play it while they're watching. And my message is
you don't have
immediately
permission.
deleted.
You don't have
It's
permissions.
immediately deleted. So somebody else post that. It's just a 104 non-time personality test that I just found. Somebody posts their things on Reddit. Now that'd be fun for us to take. It tests your masculine identity and your feminine identity, your hypochondriasis, which is like, are you a hypochondriac or not? Depression levels, hysteria levels, psychopathic deviant. So like psychopathy,
You're free.
you know, paranoia, psychasthenia, which is OCD, essentially. I'm being very reductionist. Schizophrenia, hypomania, social introversion, and then it gives you a validity test of like, you know, like this is how much based on your answers we actually like are kind of agreeing with this. Validity test, I think, actually really important. I'm like surprised to see how like an online personality test. So I'm curious how we all ranked here, like how different our answers are. I feel like in a lot of ways we're very similar. That's why Dead Zone works so well and why we're like so famous. And in other ways, I think we perfectly are like very different. But as he gets that pulled up,
Can you guys see that better? Is that good?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, that
Okay.
looks good. I think the most interesting thing here, I see four things that point out to me, and it's obviously going to be the ones that are the highest number here. But the fact that masculine identity and feminine identity are equal is very interesting to me. I have never felt trans. I have never felt gender fluid necessarily, but there are times when like I will have. Let me start here. For many years, until kind of like 2 years ago, sometimes I would get stuck with this female head of my voice, this female like narrative in my head, and I just couldn't get it out. And it would take a long time for me to kind of like switch back to like my main voice, if that makes any sense, like my thought process versus like this feminine one that was in my head. And for a long time, I thought like, well, maybe that means something in regards to like transgenderism or like my identity. But then I realized later, like now, yesterday, last night, I couldn't get an Australian voice out of my head. Sometimes these perspectives, they just pop in, and sometimes it's very hard to just get them out. They're not my main thought process, but they're like the secondary one, and they just like get stuck there sometimes. So, but at the same time, and this is something I talked to my therapist about, I've always felt so split down the middle in so many aspects of my life. And one of the main things was like, when I realized I was bisexual, like I just felt so split down the road. When I think of like the parts of me that are my mother, the parts of me that are my father, I felt so split. Like, and all of these things, it'd be too hard to articulate to you right now. And like the 10 minutes I'm going to take to explain all this stuff, I felt just very split. So this was kind of cathartic to me to see like exact numbers split between a male identity and a female identity. So very interesting there. The next number here, talking about your hypochondriac level. Now, if you are looking at the actual webpage here, if you scroll down, it will like give you a detailed description of what each of these mean. On this one, it talks about a wide variety gauge of non-specific complaints about bodily functioning that are likely to persist in the face of repeated medical tests that come out negative. Many complaints related to this pertain to the abdomen and back, as well as gastrointestinal difficulties. So, Aaron, I'm sure we're talking your language right now as a little psych major. You're probably eating this up right now, right? Num 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 nums. So full, so hungry.
Josh,
so
go
full.
ahead and send yours over as well.
I found this one interesting because I'm plagued with medical issues, and I knew while
For
taking this test. and it was-
hypochondriasis is what you're talking about?
Yeah, just hypochondria, like
Okay.
what level of hypochondria are you? So I was answering this, and anytime you take one of these personality tests, you kind of know that it's not taking into account nuance, and you are kind of feeding it biased answers because you kind of understand how it's going to give you a result based on this answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes you tweak your answer because you know how it's going to read it. Sometimes you don't, and you just kind of see what's going to happen. So this one I knew it was going to be high because the question's asking about like, I feel sick. I often research my body for medical problems. Like, yeah, I do because I'm always effing, plagued by something because of my genetic disorder. So that one I knew was going to be high. Then 75% on the psychasthenia. That it describes as a measure of a person's inability to resist specific actions or thoughts, regardless of their maladaptive nature. The scale also taps into abnormal fears, self-criticisms, and guilt feelings. This may be thought as a broadly synonymous with that which we now call OCD. So, like, I am diagnosed OCD by my therapist, and it's something that I kind of have been thinking about getting on medication for or something, just because it's been a hyper prevalent situation in my life recently. And so to see it also on like a fake internet personality test was very interesting. Because I didn't know if it would really come out in a test like this, but then it was asking me questions about like the way in which you keep things organized and how you can't feel like you function until you get these things organized. And, with me personally, it's both those things, but it's also like little obsessions I get with numbers and like not be able to fall asleep because I'm like counting things in my head and I have to pull up my calculator and look things up. And then also if I like flex a muscle on this side of my body, I now have to do it on this side of my body or, those kind of things. So interesting to see that in the test. And then again, I like that it's got the validity meter. My mother took this test and she got wildly different answers than I did. But her validity test was almost 80%. So that's really interesting. So I kind of like that this thing is like, hey, we don't effing know. You were weird. So fun. Here's see what you boys got.
Wow.
Josh, you want to go next?
Yeah, that's great. Sure. Yeah, whatever. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be.
What does that mean?
Depression's
like,
capped out, bro. You're maxed out on your depression meter.
Yeah, dude.
All
I
right,
guess on the weekend.
so also the same thing with Josh and how its masculine and feminine identities are like just the same.
So interesting that they're the same, but your numbers are so much lower. That's very interesting. I wonder
if
how
it's like
calculating that
indifferent answers. So it's like if you're indifferent
Sure.
about something, it would cap
Yeah.
it lower, and if you're very like consistent, like yes or no, it'll do higher percentages.
Sure, that makes sense.
Validity is pretty high, but guys, I think I have the
Yeah,
highest
it's like,
validity.
we got you pegged. We got you. You sad sack. We know.
Schizophrenia,
I'm honest.
65%. Josh,
I'm tweaking.
I think you're also the schizophrenic like I am. I am also
Interesting.
fucking
We've
crazy.
talked about y'all seeing things lately. Like,
Yeah,
we've talked about that
yeah,
on-
exactly.
I'll
The
show you about
ghosts.
And I don't know what to say about Bryce because he's not really a depressive personality. You obviously are, so I'm not surprised to see levels of psychosis here. Like that. I think if anything, like it's that's more validating to see that your schizophrenia levels and your hysteria levels are so high. I'm surprised your paranoia levels aren't higher. If I was like, I feel like if I was a doctor and I was reading these and these are like real levels and not like a fake internet personality test levels, I would think this means that you've just grown so comfortable with your delusions that your paranoia is so low because you're like, oh yeah, there's the creature again. Cool. And that kind of is your test,
most
to
of
be
the
honest.
most of the
creature.
paranoia questions. Well, most of the paranoia questions were stuff like, do you just trust everyone around you?
Yeah,
do you
that's
think
true.
that everyone around you is out to get you? And like it's like to an extent, but not like that. Like not, you know what I mean? Like I would never.
People are trying to hurt you just
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
that's what I
you
saw
know,
that. I was like, no.
Yeah, so like that's the thing is like I think in like what most people would think of when they hear the term paranoia. Like if that's what they were ranking, then that would be higher. But in terms
That
of just
makes a
like
lot of
my
sense.
feeling like everyone's out to get me, not so much.
Instead, you're like, I'm just crazy and I know it at this point.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
what your results show here.
Yeah, dude. And I answered honestly as hell.
I believe it. It's interesting that your hypochondriac is so low. But I guess like, you've had your own shared medical problems, but I guess they were more like injury related. So,
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Those were mine. Those were mine.
All right, this is mine.
Anything you wanna share from it, Josh? Any insights you got from what you see here? Was it
I
any
think-
validating to yourself to see the gender levels just be
Well, that's
equal
what I was
like
gonna say. Like,
that,
I thought that was funny that they were equal too. Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. But I was like, yeah, these are low. Like, which I was kind of surprised by. Like, I guess I don't. Maybe Bryce's nails head is that like maybe it's just measuring inconsistencies and stuff.
I think it could be that, but at the same time, could it just be that like our generation and the ones that are coming after us are just so unbothered by what gender even means at this point?
Yeah, maybe.
We're really kicking it to the curb. So I guess like I'm just more of an old head sexist than you are because mine were high.
Yeah. It was just like funny because I was like, what? I was like, so and it was also like, okay, so that doesn't make up 100%. So what's going on with
Yeah.
the rest? The rest of that, but okay.
Where are the
And
others
then
go?
Bryce,
is that
I'm
non-binary?
excited to see yours next. But but my mothers were almost like exclusively female. So I'm curious to see Bryce's and seeing like, obviously we're comparing like 1 to 3, but if his are also kind of equal, then I wonder what that paints as a generation.
All right,
see yours, Bryce.
these are mine. I'm a
Bryce
girly.
is the straight one.
I'm a
so-
girly, so what can I say?
Wow. Wow, group straighty gone gay.
86% validity.
Wow.
So talk
said
about
you're
answer
easy,
honestly.
got it.
Yeah, that's easy. 55% schizophrenia. So it's funny because we both talked about ghosts on here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I swear to God, guys, I saw it. I saw it.
Stop. Hold on. We're not schizophrenic, dude. Our insight is just high.
Oh,
We
Yeah,
have
true.
very high
your
insight
connection,
right
to
now.
the, your connection to the ethereal is simply
Yeah,
higher.
we have very high insight.
Oh my God,
I have
my
zero
insight is
like
huge.
OCD tendencies. That's really interesting because you're just so impulsive. You just don't
Yeah,
give a crap.
I don't give a crap.
I just realized this is so off topic, but I haven't like looked over at because you don't share your webcam on Discord for obvious
Yeah.
reasons. But I just looked over like at you for like one of the first times this whole stream, and I was like, "What if when your mom came in earlier, she just snatched your webcam?" She took it back. I need that.
Okay.
Anyway, anyway,
Hypomania. What the hell's hypomania? I didn't read what that text said.
yeah. Sorry, let me pull back up and I'll take a look. Oh my gosh, I literally, y'all, I took like 50 of those tests
Wait,
because
no,
there's actually
I've got
on
it.
that-
I've
on
got it. Measures 1 degree of excitability as well as propensity to experience elated but unstable moods, the flight of ideas and behavioral overactivity accompanied by grandiose and irritability and egocentricity.
So that kind of means, Aaron, you'd be better really at explaining this myself. We just lost Josh, but we'll keep the show going, as they
Yeah.
say. Aaron, I definitely want to see yours. Why don't you send it
Yeah,
to
send
Bryce?
it
and
to
we
me. Text it to me.
We'll just analyze you. We're just gonna make some interpretations
Yeah.
about what we see. If anybody wants to take it, do that. That'd be actually a really fun thing. If somebody just sends us in their answers and we just kind of like figure out what you must be like.
Oh,
based
Josh
your
on
answers. That'd be fun.
Discord
Yeah,
webcam.
what is going on? He's
We're
about to
getting
show
feet.
us the ghosts. Yeah.
Sorry.
He's like, I see one now. Look.
Look,
Ghost
it's just no one there. Where is he
but-
going?
Yes. So this hypomania, the description that they're giving us here, I would assume that this just means you're easily influenced by external forces in terms of your moods.
No, yeah.
This to me reads like while a lot of Freud is debunked now, I think one of his ones that linger on is his levels of personality in terms of like the id, the ego, and the superego. This reads to me like if you were still more in your ego to id stage as someone who just doesn't have a good handle over their emotions. Whether that's a good or bad thing for you individually is a different discussion. Thank you, Joshua. So you be at a 50%, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like because you're easily influenced, but at the same time, it's not like you're out just like getting irrationally mad at people or doing whatever.
Yeah.
I think you're just willing to let the natural channels of emotion flow through you, where Josh and I have maybe an unhealthy level of intentional control with our emotions that make us kind of crazy people.
Aaron, we gotta teach you how to take screenshots on a computer, girly.
Did she like take a picture with her
She
phone?
sure did. Hey, Aaron, and don't feel bad. I've done that too. I was at a point I did that. I didn't even start taking screenshots until like 3 years ago.
Hey Josh, you should turn your phone on portrait.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that would look
flip your
good.
phone.
Are you making some food right now, Josh?
Yeah, dude.
This is just incredible. This is
Did
just
it
fantastic.
work? Is it right?
Yeah. It's good.
Okay,
Yeah, it's good.
Because it's frozen on my end.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
live.
you're live. You're good.
Okay.
All right, let me is it photos? Here we
Cookie
go.
stream. You're right. Yeah, this is a cookie stream, kind of.
Oh, my phone is freaking broken, y'all. Y'all hear me and see me?
No, it's all good, Aaron. I got it up. Can you guys see
All right,
that?
so
Or is that
Erin has
bad?
a same as me, 63% feminine identity. She's got very low masculine, so we know that she's a girl. Okay.
She's a girly for sure.
She's got much higher than you, Bryce, and much higher than Josh on the hypochondriac, but lower than me. So she gets a little concerned. I would imagine that probably the way that we give so much attention to like feminine hygiene and feminine like outward looks, I would imagine that your average like girl in America is probably going to have a higher rate of this than the average person. I'm curious. That's correct. Like if we like took a poll of that.
Yeah.
Your depression is very low, so you're kind of good. You're chill. There's no
Chill
problems
as
there.
fuck.
Your hysteria is higher than me, and you know hysteria is a female disease. That's where it comes
Is
from.
that
It's just
like
when the girl's acting
anxiety?
crazy.
Is that what hysteria is?
Hysteria is literally just like you kind of just not being able to conform. It's like a deviant, right? It's a deviant behavior, and I'm of course like talking about DSM-2 here, like the way that they used to categorize women who just couldn't fit within the mold of what a husband in the 1920s wants.
Yeah.
You know. But as it reads here, it says hysteria measures a melange of traits related to the classic definition of hysteria, such as poor physical health, shyness, cynicism, headaches, and general neuroticism. So it's kind of someone who just kind of can't fit within expected mold.
I just know if Erin got that headache question, she said strongly agree. You know, like that's for sure. That's why it's so high. I know when it asked that headache question, Erin was like, "Yep, that's me."
And, you know, I'm going to read the rest of these that we haven't read out yet. She's very low. Same as, I think we got the same score on the psychopathic deviant. That registers here as measures general social maladjustment, lack of ethics or morality, and the absence of strongly pleasant experiences. The scale also taps into complaints about other people, life in general, self-alienation, social alienation, and boredom. So it just means like you're not like just being crazy to everybody because you're just so jaded. You know, you're just like, you're chill. You get how life works. You might not be happy about it, you know, like probably most people, but you're not taking it out on others. You know, you're not using your misery to like make other people miserable.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting from this. Your paranoia is pretty high though. So paranoia measures an interpersonal sensitivity, moral self-righteousness, and suspiciousness, as well as the tendency to be doubtful of others' loyalty and the tendency to persistently bear grudges. At higher levels, paranoia may also be accompanied by delusional thoughts and perceptions. So I would kind of say that this makes sense because your hysteria is so high. I mean, the description they're giving us here of paranoia is kind of just a mix of hysteria and psychopathy. It's interesting that it's so high when your psychopathic deviance is so low, just based on the descriptions that they're giving us here. But it's still not like crazy high. Your reductionist OCD is pretty high too. Again, in the same way that like I believe that you're going to see hypochondriac and hysteria higher in women. I wonder if you're going to consistently see this one higher in women as well, because there is just such a high standard of like rigidness and being over prepared.
Yeah.
Like we in American society just expect women to be at a certain level of readiness at all times compared to men. So I bet this one would likely be higher. Yeah, I would probably say that you're right, Aaron. I mean, I think if you're
Yeah,
someone
no,
who's going
you're
for,
right. You're fucking OCD, you freak.
Yeah. I think if you're a person going into a master's degree in psychology, you probably already
probably
just
already
comes with
figured it out.
probably just comes with a diagnosis of OCD. And you know, I know this conversation's been had a lot. I wish that OCD wasn't used so broadly as like I have to have my pencils on a row, or
Yeah.
you know, It's just a very lame reduction for to get it. Schizophrenia, if you're not aware, measures bizarre thoughts, peculiar perceptions, social alienation, poor relationships, difficulties with concentration and controlling one's impulses, as well as a lack of normal interest and repeated disturbing thoughts, along with possible sexual difficulties. Joshua, wow, that cheese looks smacking. You know what you should put on that,
Looks
Josh?
fresh off the farm.
Can I recommend something to you, Josh, for the sandwich you're about to make here? And I think you're gonna bully me for these recommendations, but I'm assuming you're about to toast this or something.
You know what? I should have toasted. I'm not gonna do that. I don't think. I
Okay,
think
well, if I'm doing cheddar and I'm doing some roast beef, I put on there TBH, a little barbecue sauce, and a little horseradish.
I don't have any horseradish, and I don't like it. But if I had barbecue sauce, I would do that. I really would.
Just a little horseradish, not to where you're tasting it, but you're kind of like getting that that spunk in your mouth. You know when you get that spunk in your mouth?
I just don't like it, but my mom does.
Yeah, I don't like to taste the horseradish, but it helps with that like kick in the sandwich where the roast beef. And
Yeah, sure. I totally get that.
So schizophrenia is something that I'm sure y'all have heard this, and Aaron, you've definitely heard this, but in America, how we analyze schizophrenia is so different than other countries. Well, I should say like in police states like America, think like even in places like a lot of like England, a lot of Western societies where you have like an over policing state. I would imagine maybe like certain parts of Africa this way as well. Maybe even like more developed countries like China, maybe Japan, although I really don't know. I'd be speaking from ignorance there. They are more like paranoid people, right? People are scared of schizophrenic individuals in those countries because they view them as people who are about to like act wild. They're seeing like crazy things, you know, like you see these people like TV and movies and they're like the crazy guy, right? When in truth, they're more at risk of harming themselves or being harmed by others than actually going out and harming other people as a result of their situation. Whereas I think it's specifically like India, right? They're kind of lauded a little bit in society because the things that they see or hear or witness are pleasant because, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, like Aaron, you probably know most about this, but their like socialization levels are higher. They have a higher like connection with themselves and kind of like their good processes in their brain. And they like see good things and nice things. And it's not like the stereotypical television like kill yourself voices that you get in American culture. So I find that very interesting. And then hypomania this is Aaron's, right? We're still looking at Aaron's.
Yeah, I brought up Aaron's.
Is nothing. You've got nothing. You are fully in control of your own emotions. Good job. And then your social introversion is low. You know what? I don't even think that has much to do with. So this is actually Bryce's was low, mine was low, Joshua's was low. I think that's a generational thing, right?
Joshua's was at 45%.
Is social introvert? Oh, yeah. Okay. You know what? I was reading these wrong because I was thinking that this meant like you are introvert, or rather extrovert. So that makes sense. So Josh's was high, yes. So yours is low.
Yeah,
so that is a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what? You're just always willing to do whatever, but you just don't have the opportunities to, because that was the point I was going to get to is there's people that don't like it. And then there's the fact that we just kind of don't have the opportunities to do it so much anymore. Right. A big topic I was going to get into if we had a dull moment was for kind of millennials and down, although we're all Gen Z here, is, you know, we've had that discussion about the third place being gone. We don't have that place to really hang out anymore. And especially like you boys grew up in Charleston, where do you go? You go to the beach, I guess. But even then, that's not really, these days, it's not like a public setting where you're going up and talking to people that you don't know, right? You're not doing specific hangout things with other strangers there. We don't have that place. You either have to pay to go there, or they say like no kids allowed. So you don't get that social interaction with strangers anymore in our generations because they've either monetized it or destroyed it, you know? So it kind of sucks because I was really going to getting in this rabbit hole of like, I am 25, turning 26 this year. I don't think there's any opportunity anymore in my life for me to make new friends, right? Not that I need them because I'm fine with the ones that I have, but if I wanted to, it's just not going to happen, right? I mean, we've all expressed this, I think. Like, Bryce, I think you have the greatest opportunity.
Yeah.
All of us. But Yeah, not really.
I feel like
gonna
the
happen.
main thing for an adult life to making friends is at your job. And if you are job hopping like a lot, you are getting
have to do now.
a lot more opportunities to make friends. But I think that's like been the same with every generation. Like usually around the people of our age or like our parents or their parents or whatever, they meet their like quote unquote best friends around like their 20s, their early 20s, their late 20s. Like somewhere in their 20s they meet like their friends that they just stick with for the rest of their life. And I feel like that's just like, I think you're right in saying that there's no, like, what'd you call it, a third place, like a place to meet at, like somewhere. Yeah, I always have also thought about that, because I'm now that I'm kind of like so ingrained into like or I was so ingrained into the dating culture of like Tinder and like Bumble and all that kind of stuff. I am really curious on like how even did people do it back then? You know, how did it go? Like, did you have to bring like a resume to like your friends?
Yeah, you know what? And this is I want to get to another point on this as well. But I think, people would just go to like the skate park. They'd go to the mall, but you can't just go hang out at the mall anymore because people just think you're loitering and they don't want you. They don't want kids there. They don't they don't have places to go.
Yeah.
You see a kid riding his bike on the sidewalk and somebody on the next door app says, "What are these kids doing out here?" Blah, blah, blah. Like it's ridiculous. It's like, do you want them to not be on their phones all the time? Or do you want, but like, what is it, Aaron? What's the acronym for, it's NIMBA. It's NIMBA, which means not in my backyard. Anytime there's a complaint about society and someone offers the solution, society in large will say, that sounds great, but don't put it in my backyard. You want a homeless shelter to get the homeless people off the street because you don't want them in your roads and stuff? Okay, cool. Let's build it, but don't build it near me. You want the kids to not be on their phones. You want the kids to not, but you don't want them in the streets in front of your yard. So where are they supposed to go? You can't have it that way.
Yeah.
Either build the park or where are the children going to go? If you can't complain about either direction. So yeah, I think that's what you're saying. And it's crazy as well. This is a whole other topic, but the people that will like get on those like next door style apps and like take pictures of the kids too, and like post them on that social media platform.
I feel like that's
insane.
just jaded old people.
Yeah.
That's just what that is.
You're definitely right. And speaking of which, when you were talking about older generations that kind of had it the same as us, I don't know, because look at the way that boomers connect with other boomers, the way that they'll just like be at a restaurant and just start chatting it up with someone they've never known.
What the hell?
They're so social with one another. And I wish that was us. Instead, like the socialization that I express in a public setting like that is like kindness. Like I will be.
Wait, I have another story. I'll let you finish. Sorry, I
Sure.
yeah.
But it's not out of an interest to socialize as much as just like I feel like I just like need to be kind in this situation. Not because I like really want to talk. And that's not be like get away from me.
Yeah.
It's just like. That's just not how I'm
our
set
way
up.
of socialize. This is such like, I don't know if this is an interesting topic to talk about for stream or whatever, but I think our generation of like that socializing of that, like, hey, let me just talk to you, is sliding in DMs. It's like, that's what it is. It's like, and it's what's weird is that most of the time that's like often referred to as sexualized. But one thing that's crazy is like my sister, I was talking with her. She's like, hey, sorry, Maddie, I don't want to dox anything. I won't give out names or anything. But basically somebody.
Hey, Maddie, I won't give it any names.
On like who messaged her, but it was basically some person basically randomly added her on Snapchat and then asked to go on a date with her. And I was like, okay, that's crazy. Is that what people do now? Like that's like the first thing that popped in my head is like, I understand that like some people, like girls especially, get a lot of like DMs through Instagram, Snapchat or whatever. And like that's what's like done for like asking out people or like, but like, is that like this is so funny to think about it, but be like, hey, there's another dude on Instagram that you think is cool and be like, hey dude, do you want to hang out and go play some like Mario Kart or some shit? It's just like most of that time whenever it's this socializing that has moved to the digital age, like the physical to the digital, it's more sexualized than it is to than it was like previously. Because I think if you do that with dudes, it's like kind of weird. Like if you do that to like another person that you want to be friends with rather than romanticize, I think it's a lot stranger.
Here's my very cynical take on that. One, I'll start with the sister thing. So is it weird? Yes and no. It's weird to someone like me who would never even, I couldn't imagine.
Exactly.
doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I couldn't also imagine walking up to somebody in a bar and asking them out.
Yeah.
Which has been the commonplace for hundreds of years now, you know? So it's kind of the same thing. Now, if they were like, hey, here's my penis, like that's its own crazy thing.
Obviously.
If you're just saying like, they were just, I don't know if innocent is the right word, but they were just asking to, hey, do you want to go on a date? Like, I think that's kind of just where the platform has moved. You know, we don't know each other in person, but I'd like to get to know you. So here's my invitation. Not so weird, but it's very bold. And like, I couldn't imagine doing something like that.
Maybe that's just what it is. It's just that boldness.
Yeah. But there's maybe it is weird. And it's also weird to happen in person, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think it depends on both people in the situation on whether or not they would determine if it's uncomfortable or not. But at the same time, when it comes to like those DMs you're talking about, and let's take this from a base of nothing sexual. Okay. It's purely like, you seem cool. I want to hang out with you. I think if you find somebody on social media and you don't already know them, but from what you've received from their persona online, you think that they're cool and you want to make that DM, I think that that person is setting up, intentionally or not, whether they've thought about it or not, they're intentionally, I just betrayed myself. They are setting up that persona so that somebody will do that, right? Because they want somebody to reach out. I mean, that's why you have social media, right? Is because you have a level of what you're willing to share with people and hoping that they like it. And to a certain degree, hoping that they'll reach out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if it's not the right person that's reaching out to you, then you think that's weird all of a sudden, right? If it's somebody that you feel like you could vibe with, it's like, oh, I'm so glad they reached out.
Yeah.
But if it's someone that you have no interest in any way, shape, or form, then you're going to feel off-put by it, you know?
Yeah.
So I would, if I was getting the vibe that somebody wanted people like there's this twink on Twitter, right? And he's always asking people like message me. And I'm like, I bet you don't respond to anybody, you know, except maybe like 3 other people that you think are hot. And then if that's the thing, that's fine. But it kind of just sets up this sort of like, oh, anybody. I'm like, really? I doubt it. Right. I bet that you've got a very select few people that you would really respond to. And I bet those people, when they thought you were asking in earnest, now realize that you weren't because you didn't respond, probably upsets them a little bit. And now they've painted a negative picture of you, you know? That's the kind of vibe that I get. So I would say that the DM is not, if you are like genuinely just like earnestly looking for friends, I would say the DM is probably not the place to do it, because the person that you feel willing enough to reach out to in that way is actually probably not the person that you want to engage with in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I think you're right in how social media like sets up like not necessarily them as a person, but do you like it's more of like a persona. But when you meet somebody for the first time, isn't that already a persona? Like I feel like you don't really get to know a person unless like after like several hangouts. Like I think every time you meet on, it's like kind of like you're wearing a mask, similar like how you're wearing a social media mask. I feel like having that same thing of like meeting a person for the first time and also DMing it, it's kind of like the same thing.
You're definitely right, but think of how much harder it is to hide traits of your personality.
Yeah. Josh, I think you are like our Subway Surfers. Me and Ryan are talking, and like you've been like our Josh eating cam. Like this
he's
is
mukbanging over
just
there.
insane.
I'm fully listening. I'm paying attention to everything.
I'm like, I'm thinking like, ooh, I should give Josh a moment to talk. Oh no, he's saying goodbye. All right. Where was I?
I was talking about the masks of social media and in person.
Yes. I think it's much harder to like think of when you match with somebody on Tinder. Okay. I know we're kind of getting into more like relationship territory, but you match someone on Tinder. You've talked for a few days. Now you got to meet in person. Ooh, you're weird. Aren't you?
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much harder. Okay, think of. I bet this happens 100% of the time. From my sociology brain, I'm saying this is a 100% occurrence. There's no
Okay.
outliers to this. All these, let's say, at the very cusp of like the end of Gen Z and beginning of Gen Alpha, right?
Mm-hmm.
These people that are like 16 or 15 or 14 or whatever, these teeny boppers on social media that they're doing their lip sync videos, they're doing whatever, you know, trying to look all hot and like, oh, look what a big personality I have. Then when they're in person, and even when they're in their like friend groups, I'm sure you see this at the restaurant, Bryce, when the little 15-year-olds come to grab a bite, and they're all on their phones the whole time, not talking to each other, because their personality is
online.
their social media platform.
Yeah.
They don't, and this isn't necessarily a criticism on them, because it's kind of like, well, the parent put the phone in their hand, right? If I have a kid, I ain't giving them no phone. I ain't getting no phone.
No phone.
Yeah, I ain't getting a phone.
No phone.
But yeah, it's like that's just how they've been socialized, right? That's how they've been conditioned. So I think, you know, when I think it's just going to kind of get worse for a little bit before it gets better. But yeah, I would say that a lot of people in our hangout pool, in our dating pool, and younger, I think are going to have that sort of
Realization,
maladaptiveness,
maybe?
right? Of,
Yeah.
or that like unflexed muscle, that unworked muscle of in-person communication. I think we're both just going to kind of feel weird. We're both going to kind of act weird.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a selling point for both of you if y'all are real enough about it, right? If y'all can both acknowledge it and be like, okay, this is kind of weird. Let's just, you know, whatever. But yeah, I do find it very interesting, Bryce, that your go-to is like, well, maybe it's the DM, because we just had a discussion about like how weird that feels for both of us.
Yeah.
But for you to even bring it up, I'm like, where's his mind at? To even consider that, because that would be like my last thing.
Yeah.
I'm not hitting up some person.
Yeah. Because like it's
become
crazy because
friends.
there's also another person I know where like I think I wish we had like a girl on we could bring on, because I think us having three male perspectives, whether they be gay or straight, it really doesn't get the female mindset behind dating culture, and especially DMs, because there's been multiple times where I've heard like girls be like, oh, we were just friends, and then, you know, and then he was just like being weird.
Yeah.
It's just like that. And I'm just like, man, that's going to be also even harder for women. And that kind of sucks. Not to sound like women out here, but you know, it's just like,
yeah, not to sound
suck.
like a wailing banshee, but Josh, you're done with your food now.
Josh,
You've
anything?
got a lot to talk about. You've got a lot to talk
Bryce.
about on here.
You sound
Hippies.
exactly like that. Just kidding. Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit all the points.
That's the thing. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like
Y'all
the thing
said
is,
it.
no,
Good job.
whenever like you and Josh are doing that same thing, I'm like, yeah, I don't even know where to fucking start. I'm kind of done. You guys seem done.
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of. I wouldn't have anything else to say that wasn't already said.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's just a tricky situation out there for everyone as a whole. It's just unfortunate. I don't know. Like, I don't think anybody really knows what it is that they want. And
That's a
I
good
think
point.
that like they kind of wouldn't even really know where to like start, because there's a lot writing on what you want versus like kind of what you should have to be deemed socially acceptable, and then depending on what your social status is can require different things as well, or can feel like it can anyways. I think there's just a lot of confusion and a lot of people don't know, and I think it creates a lot of casualties when you have a lot of people that are unsure of what they want, that are trying to find someone that they like fit in with and belong with, whether that's romantically or as a friend or whatever. And I don't know, like boundaries are unclear and things are uncertain and stuff, and it just creates a bunch of issues and whatever. So I don't know, and I think that sours people's outlook on that, whether that's the process of making friends or friends in general or relationships, connections in general. And then you have a lot of people that lose out that way. You know, that can be applied to like applying for jobs and stuff like that as well. You know, it's like there's just a lot of burnout and stuff when there's a lot of uncertainty. I guess like uncertainty creates a lot of anxious energy, and when that's expended, which is pretty quick, you're kind of just left with
not a lot. So I think it's just a tricky stitch out there for anyone trying to form connections. So if y'all are 25 and looking to make friends, let me tell you, that's hard shit.
If you're 25 looking to make friends, hey,
Hey, we're here.
Hey.
We'll be your friend.
let's have that parasocial relationship I've been building with you.
Yeah. But I guess that's what I got for you.
I think that was
Awesome.
very insightful, and you
Thank you,
absolutely
Josh.
contributed points that we had not stated before, and you're insane. Look at you.
It's that schizophrenic
I-
behavior coming out.
yeah, he's like, it's me. I'm the creature. I've always been the
The
creature.
monster is here. The monster is here.
Monster
The
has
monster
shown
is
up.
here.
Oh, brother.
Ryan, what other topics you got? I heard you got some cooking.
Yeah, so I kind of touched on one that I'm very curious about here with y'all. I read an opinion, and my immediate thought process is that I kind of agree, even though it's very hatery. I kind of agree. I'd need to like really think about it, think on it longer before I like really committed to it. But my initial impression was like, yeah, kind of. So before I get into it, just a yes or no question, okay? Don't even give me nuance yet. Just yes or no.
Yeah.
Josh, do you believe that you will be bringing children into this world?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Bryce, do you believe you'll be bringing children into this world?
Can I refuse to answer?
No.
All right, guys, we're gonna end the stream.
Yeah, different girlfriend's watching. So, yeah, that's funnier. I mean, this is pretty cool. So, the reason that I ask is that a lot of our generation is saying, I'm not going to have kids. And it's not because they don't like children, then clip it. Clip it yourself.
Yeah, then clip it. You are here.
You're the clipper.
No! No!
I'm
No!
doing it. So yeah, a lot of our generation is saying I'm not having kids, and it's not because they don't like kids. Maybe that's a big part of it, but I would say that yeah, I don't know how to do this. Not have kids. I know how to have kids. I know how to have kids. I know how to clip this. I know how to clip it.
I know how to have kids. I swear. I swear.
I don't want kids because I don't know how to do it yet. No one's had to talk to me, and somehow I know how to talk relates to having children. So a lot of our generation is saying I'm not having kids, and maybe it's because they don't want them, but I think a large part is look at the world, look at Gen Alpha and younger, and look at how a lot of them suck, and just like, so a lot of our parents didn't raise us right, and we acknowledge that. We acknowledge like trauma that we experienced. We acknowledge like how we were socialized in the home, how we were conditioned in the home. Personally, I've thought a lot about having children. A lot of the time I'm like, yes, I definitely want a child and I want to raise them right. But then I think of like, man, even just like treating them this way, how is that going to affect the rest of their life? Like, think of something, Bryce, that you don't have to say it out loud. Think of something that your dad has said, something that your mama said, and they didn't mean it maliciously. They didn't mean it, you know, in a bad way, but just somehow it stuck with you all of your life. You know, and just like in a bad way, or it's just shaped the way you thought.
Yeah.
I get terrified thinking of having a child and something that I say or do, even with like the purest of intentions, the way that they might carry that through their life in a bad way. Like that freaks me out. I can't be burdened with that responsibility, you know, and I'm sure it comes with enough like good parts of having a child that makes it okay enough, you know, that makes it great even.
Yeah.
But just thinking of like, my genetics, the way that I look, you know, the way the things that I'll pass on to that child, I just feel like I can't be responsible for creating half a person, and half of that child is me and my burdens and those kind of, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people,
I think it's not only just the parents raising the child. I think a lot of things that I think of like on raising a child, like a lot of my personality now as like more of an adult is like you guys. It's like it's not necessarily my parents, it's the people I surround myself with. So I think saying that you're going to burden yourself with like the burdens of like the parent become the burdens of the child. Everyone always says like I will do better than my parents. Like everyone. So I think your worries about saying that like, oh, this is going to be a burden for I'm worried about passing these burdens. It's like, yes, you need to admit that. Like, yes, you are going to do that, and that's okay because you know going in that you have the purest intentions and that you are going to do the best you can. Like that's exactly like how you're supposed to go into that. No one's expecting you to be perfect. I don't even think the kids are even expecting you to be perfect. At least they won't when they're older. But like, Josh, nice. I'm glad you balanced that. That was good.
Y'all see my set? Y'all can finally see my
Yeah, we
setup
can.
back
We can.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
Prime bottles though.
True.
Yeah, they're there.
They're there. Wait, can I see it? And like I think I can see like one bottle near the blue.
Yeah.
Oh, we can see the one.
One of the very end.
That works. That
Sorry.
works.
Bryce, your point is very prevalent, and it brings me into my next point here. I think that the answer that our generation has had to I want to do better than my parents is to not be parents.
Yeah.
I think that's the jump that they've made is the world's not ready for more children. And those of us, and this is the opinion that I read. Like this is what they said. They said those of us that have the intelligence and empathy in our generation and younger are making the decision not to bring new children into this world. And instead, the parents of Gen Z are going to be the ones that maybe don't have as much intelligence, maybe don't have as much empathy, or there are plenty of people that have children for selfish reasons. And as a result, Gen Z parents aren't going to look very good because the ones that do have children are the ones that maybe didn't give it all the same thought that others did that proactively decided not to have children, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a very interesting point. Obviously, it's not all encompassing.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people who are going to have the same conversation you and I just had and said, okay, but I think it's worth it for this reason, this reason. And yeah, great.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the people that don't have that conversations with themselves, and I think it's kind of wild not to, because our generation younger are so introspective about these kind of things, right? I feel like we're just very in tune to those kind of conversations. Like you just said, the children don't expect that level of intention with the parenting, you know?
Yeah.
But we kind of did as kids. And I
Yeah.
think the next generation will as well, right? They're going to have that thought process. And that's kind of what is getting us to have these conversations because we actively thought about the way we were being parented as it happened,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of what is, and as I was just saying, I'm repeating myself here, but now that we're growing up and we're saying, okay, well then maybe parenting just is not what we need right now. You know, maybe that's not what this generation needs. We need to fix problems before we introduce new people to experience those problems, right? So people that don't have that level of introspection that might become the next parents, that's kind of a worrying thought, you know? I'm not saying that, you know, the next set of parents are just idiots that don't care, you know, but I think you're going to have a bigger percentage of those kinds of people that are parents in the next generation. That's a bit of a scary thought.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So Josh, what Ryan's saying is that you are stupid if you have kids. That's
Yeah.
what he's
Yeah,
Well,
verbatim, that's what I
calling
said.
you really dumb.
Verbatim, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: is like that's a hard question to answer because I go back and forth on it all the time, and I feel like it could really go either way. And I think at this point, it kind of stands like this. It depends on where I'm at with my life. Like, there's never going to be a point where, like, I go for having a kid if I cannot, like, raise it. You know what I mean? If I'm not, like, in a good place to raise it, if I can't financially take care of it, like, if I'm not emotionally ready and, like, or whatever to do that, I'm not going to do that. It has to be like a situation that's almost like a perfect situation for this to happen. I think that there's several obstacles in the way of that. And it doesn't seem to be getting better or whatever. And stuff, but I would decide it was worth the risk if at least everything in my corner of the world was like somewhat manageable and stuff like that. Like if I could in good conscience bring a kid into the world and do my best to like take care of it, make sure it gets off in a good thing, then I probably would.
You feel like you have the time to be a parent. Yeah.
Yeah, like it would just depend on a lot of things. Like I wouldn't have one if I didn't like really honestly think there was like a good chance of this going on. So
Maybe we'll just see a lot of.
It could go either way, really.
I totally understand that. I think that's a great way to look at it. I think maybe we'll just see a lot of late age parents, you know, people in their 40s and 60s who say, okay, maybe now it's time. And
Yeah,
that'll likely be
that's
adoption
also
things. But
what like I'm thinking is because like you're kind of on a time crunch. If you want to have like kids like naturally, you kind of see like do it now or you know baby might be fucked.
which is but like genetically, biologically crazy.
Yes,
Like with the way that
yes.
we have society set up right now, like I'm 25. I'm just now like
Ain't no way.
I've
Ain't
just now
no
got a house.
way.
I've just now got a job and a degree. Like I need me. Like I need
Yeah.
my life before I
Yeah,
have
like
another
I'm
one
thinking
here.
like 35, 40. Like that is like where I'd be like, we're good. We're all ready, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy how that's the biological clock, you know?
But at the same time, it sucks because it's like during that interim time when you're like 20 to 40, you need to, and this, please take me earnestly. Let's not take this crazy, okay?
Okay.
You need to be around children, right? You need to be around children so you can understand how they work. It's been a long time since you've been a child. You need to see how they develop. You need to see how other parents are doing it, right? I wish there was kind of a way that people who will eventually be parents in these later ages can just innocently and in a way that they can like observe, children and parents and see how it works so they know how to do it again when it's time for them to be parents. Otherwise, it's like, what the F am I going to do when this thing's finally here? You know what I mean? Make
Yeah.
any sense?
Sorry, I was busy banning that random guy that
Yeah.
put shit
Yeah.
in there. Could
Sorry to bother you.
Sorry, could you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
I was just saying, like, I wish there was a way for in that interim time when you're like 20 to 40, when you're making the decision to have children, when you're deciding when it's the right time. Let's say like you're finally 40 and it's time for you to adopt or have a child, right?
Yeah.
I wish there was a time in within those moments that you can engage with children, engage with young people, engage with
To
teenagers.
see
and,
if it's like even you can do it. Like even you can
yeah,
raise.
like,
Yeah, I
is this
agree.
even what I really,
100%.
and see how they work. Like there was a TikTok that was very, I'm not saying it's very scientifically based, but like based, like it's based in
based.
science very well because it was very like word of mouth, but I'm sure they were basing it on some sort of scientific study where they were talking about like the handwriting of men versus the handwriting of women, how women typically have much better handwriting than men because of the dexterity that they develop when they're a child, because their playtime as a child is much more using fingers and things, right? Whereas a man, as a boy child, you might be more like physically active. Your toys aren't like dolls where you're moving them. They might just be like trucks and you're doing this.
Yeah.
So I don't know how true this is, but that level of dexterity.
That's interesting. Yeah, I can totally understand that for sure.
Like I've seen Josh use a fork. He holds it like this, like parallel, and scoops.
Like you're right. Yeah. And then like yeah, that's actually crazy to think about. Like the things like I think like part of me is just like, okay, that can't be all true because think of like Legos, think about Bionicle, like the things that are
but those guys
things-
are nerds and they typically do have
Yeah,
that here.
no, exactly. But it's crazy, like trucks, how they have like Erin can also like attest to this. She's like around kids a lot, but it's like the like trucks, like you have to like grip that thing and use like your whole arm to do it. But like dolls is like that's crazy. I actually never thought about that. That's awesome.
It's a lot of things like that. And think of also like all the physics that you're learning as a kid too. There was that video of the guy trying to pour the shot onto his ice cream and it just was spilling down the
Yeah.
thing. We've all done that. You
Yeah.
try to pour something and it just spills down the side.
Yeah.
They worded it very poorly, but a comment on that TikTok was like, water play is very important as a child. Now there's other kind of water plays everybody was misinterpreting in that comment, but yes, playing with water, playing with physics, seeing how things work as a child is so important to your development to understand later in life how are things going to work. And I've always thought too, sometimes you see the way that people talk, and I sent y'all a voice memo months ago that was talking about the articulants of queer people versus the articulants of straight people. I don't think that I necessarily have a gay voice, but sometimes I kind of put it on. I exaggerate it for the bit, right? It's kind of funnier that way.
Yeah.
But a lot of gay people, you will hear that they intentionally, sorry, I shouldn't say intentionally, but you'll hear that they put on an articulants to their voice. The way that they are moving their lips, opening their jaw, I wonder if it's sort of like a survival habit, in order to, one, not be misunderstood, two, you're intentionally trying to not have the gay voice or whatever the case may be. And tell me if anybody thinks that this is wrong. There's almost like a, in comparison, almost a slurring level of non-queer people in the way that they speak versus in articulants of gay people, queer people in general. but I think it's those little habits that are so interesting of children, and why it's so important to pay attention to both your child and you as a child, the way that you're developing those motor skills. It's very fascinating. I don't remember how we got into this topic.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm bringing us back. It's like
Very
whenever you are an adult and like you need to be around kids to be able to raise
Yes, right.
So
yeah,
I was thinking it's like the people that have had like me as having a younger sibling understands what it's like to be around like a baby, a toddler, a teenager, like somebody who you have seen and grown up with, like especially now. It's like having a deep understanding of like what that requires, what that means. Like you being like, I think Ryan, are you the youngest?
I'm the middle child of 5.
You're the middle. Josh, you're like the second oldest?
He's the second of 4, right?
Okay, so you've all been around like really young kids, right? That like really remember. Do you guys feel like you have a because I think the people that have had siblings, have younger siblings specifically, know that like you're more equipped to handle a child than somebody who is like an only child.
I would probably agree with that. Yeah. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I think I would be horrible around a child. Another person.
I always
have
find
to
it
pay
funny whenever some people like hand you a child. It's like, what the fuck do I do with this thing?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't get this thing out of my hands. I don't want
It
it.
stresses me out. Like I just, what am I supposed to do with this?
Just like its head just goes limp, just fucking.
I know. It's like I don't even know this guy. You know what I mean?
I don't know this guy.
I don't even know this guy.
Who is this dude?
Yeah, like what's up with that? Not cool.
This thing sucks.
Yeah.
That's basketball. Let's play like a basketball. If you're wondering, like, yes, the soft spot. Of
The
head.
soft spot of the head, absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Y'all ever had to like take your fingers like this and punch through a box, like a cardboard box or something?
Yeah.
No, but I've done it to a baby.
Soft spot. What do we think?
Yeah. I want to grip it. I want to grip it like that.
All right, wait. This is crazy.
You know, like when people would do this.
We actually can't talk about this on stream. There's just no way.
What, gripping the soft spot of a baby like this and picking it up?
To the skin of the back of its neck like a cat.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, guys, it's okay. It's okay. I'm gripping it.
It's okay. It's a hypothetical baby. It's not real. It's not even a real
Chad,
baby.
don't freak out. It's a
We don't
hypothetical
even know
baby.
who that. We don't even know who that guy is.
We don't even know that. If you don't know who that guy is, it's okay.
Who even is that guy? Okay. First of all, who even is that guy? Second of all, who even is that guy?
Who cares?
I'm saying.
Also, who cares?
Also, who cares? That's what I'm saying. Okay, here's an interesting dynamic that Bryce wouldn't know, but Josh would know. Okay, middle child of 5. All right, I have an older brother, and I have a younger brother. I have an older sister, and I have a younger sister. I'm probably closest with the brothers. Currently, I think of the way that I look at my older brother Reed, and like he's here, I'm here, right? In like my brain, and then here's Jake, right?
It's like a hierarchy. You deem it?
Well, I mean, that's just kind of how it
Yeah.
works, you know, like just unintentionally, that's how it works. I think of the way that I view him and my perspective of him as I am the younger brother. And then I think of like Jake is my younger brother. And he must see me through that same lens. Mm-hmm. And that's so strange.
Yeah.
Because Reed doesn't have the older brother, right? Jake doesn't have the younger brother.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the perspective of what it's like to be the older one. Mm-hmm. Reed doesn't have the perspective of what it's like to be the younger one. It's so weird to think of myself having both of those perspectives. Because to Jake, I actually almost don't even feel like the older brother. He's now, because of like how
I think you guys are so
bigger.
Close in age too. It's kind of like hard to.
He's
feel
4
that.
years apart, and Reed's 4 years apart from me. Where it's the same. It's
Weird.
the same both ways. But now, like, Jake is bigger than me, right? And man's pulling, by the way. So it's just weird to think, like, I don't know. I don't even really feel like his old. I used to, because he used to just be like a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now I kind of don't anymore. Feel that way, but it's just so weird to be in that juxtaposition of both the younger and the older.
For sure.
I don't know. It's strange. Even Sarah doesn't really feel like my little sister anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird.
I think I'll
Aaron,
always deem
yeah.
Maddie as my little sister. I think because our age difference is so.
How different are y'all apart?
So I'm 24. She's 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. 8 years.
Yeah, 8
dang.
years. So it's like I'll always see her as my little sister. And I think it's because of that age gap, and also I don't really have any other siblings to compare it to.
Josh, I suspect you probably feel similar to me when you think of Michael. Like, does he still feel like your younger brother, or like when you look at him, like how he's living his life, like, do you still feel like bigger than him? Do you still feel, and how does it feel having the perspective of both younger and older?
Well, I mean, truthfully, I've never really. I really don't even look at any of my siblings as like my older siblings, my younger siblings. Like we just all feel on the same kind of little platform.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, like I would say we're all kind of close in age. Though Ben is like 27 and Poke just turned 18 or 19 or whatever. So I mean, I guess there's like a big difference between them, but the rest, I think, with everyone, is like 2 years, I think, or something. So we all always just felt kind of close in age, and I guess like our experiences were so similar in a lot of ways for a long time that like we've always just in my head kind of been on the same level.
Sure.
Even like when we were younger, and it was like really noticeable. Like if like Ben and I are like going through puberty and like they're not, and stuff like that, is still weirdly somehow felt like we were all in the same playing field. So like I really like I look at it in terms of like who's like more successful. Like
Sure.
like that's kind of how I look at it. Is like we're all on the same age, but some of us are more successful than others.
Maybe in like, I mean, that's
yeah,
subjective.
yeah.
And it's okay though, because like I'm very happy and proud of all of them. But yeah, so like I would just say when it comes to like age and like where I feel in terms of like a status, there just really isn't one. We're just all in the same thing.
Sure.
Do you
But
guys?
who is the most successful of your siblings? What'd you say?
I'm gonna wait. Can I guess?
Yeah, sure.
Is it Michael?
It's gotta be Michael, I
That's
think.
That's what I thought. Michael. It was gonna say you were gonna say Michael.
Yeah, and Poke could be up there. The only reason she's not at Michael's level, I guess, because like she's still in school, so she's like kind of still has some constraints. Whereas Michael's like out in the world and free now, and all he does is hustle and grind. So I mean, like,
I
he's
feel like
something
with you guys having like a lot more siblings than my just like one sibling, I feel like I want to do like everything in my power to like help my younger sibling. Like, and I guess like being in the household still, even when I'm 24, like with her, it's just like, oh, like she needs help on this. I will sit down and help her for like hours, just trying to do that. I don't know if you guys feel that same way, especially like Ryan, when you were living in the same house with Jake. Like, did you ever feel that way with your siblings being like, I will literally do anything for you, whatever you need, kind of like love for your sibling?
First of all, of course, Aaron, what are you even talking about? And I'm going to see Bryce in person. We're probably not going to do anything for his actual birthday because we're going to see him in person in like 3 weeks.
Exactly.
To answer your question, Bryce, no, I didn't. I think that comes from a place that you're 8 years older than her.
Yeah.
You know, I think Reed feels that for Jake because he's like 10 years older than Jake. You know, even though we're all 2 years apart, it's not like there was this huge gap. If Reed was born and then 10 years later Jake was born, that's very different than the fact that like it was Reed and then 2 more was But yes, because y'all are 8 years apart, y'all didn't have really the sibling rivalry so much as Josh would have with his siblings or I would have with mine. So yeah, you probably feel very protective.
It's more like parental than it is like
you were
sibling.
A teenager by the time she could talk.
Yeah.
You know, like it's very different. And I like that a lot. I think that's great. I'm very glad for Maddie because she has you to do that. She might not know it now, although I think she does.
I think she does.
I think she appreciates it now. Probably not like 4 years ago. Yeah. But no, I think that's great. I'm very happy for her. We were never like that. It was always like all of us just hated each other all the time.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like that's
well
every
now.
sibling. Like there was a point where everyone just hated each other.
Yeah. Like there's I won't name who, but there's one of our siblings that none of us talk to. We just avoid that sibling always, just all the time.
I
We
think
just
I know,
completely ignore them.
but I'm not
sure you
gonna
do.
say. I'm not
I'm sure you
gonna
do,
say.
but I'm not gonna say it on here.
No.
And then the rest of us, like Reed and I, are probably the closest right now because we live so close. We live in the same city, right? We do everything together. Then even then, like he and Jake might even be closer than he and I are. You know, I don't know. It's a hard toss up. But then like for a while, like Sarah and I were so close, right? Because like we were the fags, right? Like we got along well. Jake and I are getting a lot closer now, you know. But like I think the oddest pair would be like Reed and Sarah. There's like no connection there at all. Like I've never seen those two together ever. That's
Part
not
of me
ever gonna
wonders
happen.
with like Reed and like, because the thing is, Maddie is so like me, and I think your family, especially Ryan, is so different. Like everyone is kind of like so different. What do y'all even talk about? like when you guys are bringing up, like Ryan's over here going to talk about John Mayer and gay.
Reed and I love John Mayer.
Okay, no, but I know, but it's just like, what's the conversation to bring everyone in?
That's a really good question to bring all of us in
Yeah,
together.
to all of us into one.
You know, because of that one that nobody talks to, I don't think we could bring one
That's
that
crazy.
gets us all. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if there's one thing that could loop all of us together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I could think of like
brothers and sisters under Jesus Christ. So I mean, do you
no,
have
not really. Now that the one sibling that never talks to, yeah. Yeah. What about you, Josh? Like y'all are very close.
Oh, dude,
like,
I
at least
love your
compared-
siblings. I love every one
you
of your
just
siblings.
you just love them. They love you. Like it's Harmony City over there.
It is Harmony
You know,
City.
I mean, I don't
I
know.
really love
I
your
would say, it just appears a lot closer than like it actually is and stuff. Like I don't want that to sound like I'm like true story. We actually hate each other. Like that's not it at all. It's just that like none of us really like talk to each other like that. Like I think the only ones that really do are Michael and Poe. Like I think they'll kind of like snap back and forth and text and stuff and like keep up with each other like that. But like me and Ben or like with them and stuff like we don't really do that and stuff. So like it's like kind of weird because it feels like we don't like talk at all. But then like when we are all in the same area, like Christmas and stuff, like we'll talk and stuff. But it's like weird. I can't figure out like why that is. Like I don't know if that's just because we spent so much time together growing up because we're all homeschooled and whatever. That like now it's like we just don't really like do that. Or what it is, but like yeah, I would say it just like looks a lot closer than it is. That's not to say that's not close. So that's bad. It's not.
Y'all just feel like a real family to me.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I love it. Like it's just clear. Like even if maybe y'all aren't talking at the time, it's very clear to an outsider like how much y'all actually love each other. Like actually love each other, and not just like we grew up together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I've always really admired it.
Whenever I see Josh's siblings like talk to each other, it seems like you guys aren't siblings. You guys are friends. Like the way you talk.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and I think it's this way for a lot of people. Is hopefully, anyways, is that kind of when you and all of your siblings have kind of like cleared the puberty barrier, it like everything becomes a lot.
That is kind of
closer.
So true. Yeah.
Because I think
absolutely.
it's like if you knew them when you were younger, you kind of like were closer when you were younger because you know you were just on the same page about everything. You didn't really have any other experiences, and then you know you have the whole thing where you're trying to grow into your own person, so you kind of like split apart. But then when you both kind of formed that hump, like and the weird like not like competition, but it's almost competitive.
Yeah.
It's like almost like this weird like that like goes away, and then like you're on the same page again. It's like you kind of experience a lot of the same stuff again, and you're back on it and stuff. So like yeah, I think we all kind of cleared that and whatever. Like Michael and I used to hate each other, dude. When we were younger, dude, we hated each other. We were fighting all the time and whatever. And then yeah, about the time that like he went through puberty and stuff, like yeah, we got closer and whatever. So now we're all friends.
I think you're completely right. I will take it another step and say, your siblings that go to college gets even better. Like
Yeah.
all of y'all went to college, like every single one of you,
Mhm.
but only the boys went to college in my family.
Right.
And college was paramount for Jake's development. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like until he went to college, believed that he just had to be my dad. He just had to be Reed. 100% of his personality was just copied from them. And then now he's just very much his own person with his own interests. His interests are cool. He loves to talk about them. He's like getting very smart. Not that he's ever stupid, but he's just like he's just really got it going now. You know, like he just very much feels like his own person, and it's shining through, and it's great. And I think that was college. It was that independence and I know I've been doing a lot of generational talk this episode, but I think that's another thing too, is a lot of people in our generation are avoiding college for very good reasons, very obvious reasons. But I think you're very much and none of us were like the partier college. I'm not even talking about that, but not even talking about like the socialization, but the brain plasticity that you develop being put in a situation like that, you know, the intellectual challenge that it kind of forces you to re-examine so much of what you thought and what you believed and what you were conditioned to. It's kind of crazy, and it really forces you to develop your own personality kind of against your will, you know, but in a good way. And I think that was very, very big for him. Excited to see as he continues on that. And you know, he went to college, and I don't think he wanted to be a teacher. He wanted to be a history teacher. And then now he kind of realized, in the same way that I did when I was taking my teaching classes, like, no, being a teacher is probably going to suck. So let's not do that anymore. So we had a conversation, and he kind of wants to become a music historian now. Like, how cool is that? You know, like that was a great opportunity for him to totally change his life, and he's done it amazingly. Like, I would never have been excited to see my siblings, but when I go back to Charleston to see y'all, I'm excited to see them. You know, he's gonna come down. Sarah's still living there, so yeah. I'm actually excited to see them. You know, it's been over a year since I've seen her.
I'm kind of like, since I'm still in the same house with Maddie, like it's nice that I can just go into the other room and just start talking with her, like no matter what kind of thing. It's gonna be kind of sucky whenever I do move out, which is gonna be like, honestly, like in the next couple of months. That's actually kind of scary to think about. But whenever I do, it's gonna be like kind of sad to kind of break that easy barrier to like always just to go to talk to my sister. So I think it's also harder. The reason why siblings kind of like fall out of contact, especially when kind of people go their own ways, it's kind of hard to keep up. Especially I think when you have a lot of siblings. Like, you guys have a lot of siblings. I just got one to keep track of. Like that's not bad. But yeah, I think we've all got some really great family that we can talk to. Anyway. Yeah,
like I've had people be like, "So what's Sarah up to?" I'm like, "I don't know. I have no clue where she's even living right now." I had a text her the other week like, "Where are you? Where do you live now?" Because like 1 year she'll be in North Carolina, then she'll be like in Charleston, and then she's like in Florida. I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, you're just going everywhere for like months at a time." So you can never spin that girl down, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. There's too many of them to keep track of. I can barely get their birthdays right. You know, I can't do it. I have a totally different question to ask y'all.
Are we 20 switching minutes gears? Left here. Switching gears?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch gears, and I've got an interesting question for y'all. Just here.
What?
What was that?
What?
Anyway, thank you, Josh, for putting that in the chat. I appreciate that. Good job, Josh. Get the good job, Josh counter going.
Good job, Josh counter.
I saw a Reddit post, and it really I never noticed this before. So let me ask y'all first. The movie The Incredibles. We like it?
Love it.
First one?
Love it.
Love it. Josh?
Yes.
Yeah. The villain is
Syndrome.
How is Syndrome defeated in the end?
He's sucked up in the plane, isn't he?
He's sucked up into a plane.
Sucked him in a jet engine, yeah.
That's crazy. I never realized that as a kid. Someone on Reddit was like, how come some people think that this was like too harsh of a punishment for him? I've never heard anybody say that, first of all. I don't know what he's talking about. But I never really thought about
like how he
that
died.
man is atomized.
Yeah.
That's gore.
You haven't like been participating in syndrome death discourse that's been happening for like
I
the
have
past?
personally. I'm
Wait.
I'm introducing us to syndrome death
Yeah.
discourse here.
Yeah, well, you haven't been having that for like the past.
No, have
10
you?
Yeah, I have. Absolutely.
Whoa.
Actually,
No, I'm just kidding.
okay, 'cause,
That'd
like,
be crazy.
you do this sometimes, and I'm like, oh,
He
but
has.
that-
He's cultured.
that's crazy. That's a kids movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I get it. It's like it's what do you call it? I can't think of the word, but like somebody in the beginning because of the cape, they get sucked into the airplane, they die that way. He dies that way because of the cape, blah, blah, blah. It's metaphorical. But oh my gosh, it's a kids movie. He sucked into a jet engine and turned into
Pulp.
a human
Pulp.
slut. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
What's crazy too is that like they don't show any blood. Like obviously they don't show any blood, but like he just sucks
Yeah.
up and disappears.
Okay, but like, what do the kids think about that? They would be traumatized. I don't care what this man's done to your family. He almost killed your baby. He brought him up into the sky. Okay. I'm so sorry about that. You did just watch a man get vaporized by it. That blood rained, his blood and guts and penis and brains and every part of his body and skin and bones just rained down on you and your family and your baby and your children and your son.
Yeah.
Your son Dash and your daughter Violet.
Well, honestly, by this point in the film, they're probably all in shock because of like everything they've been doing since they got to the island. Like they were responsible
That's
for the deaths
true.
of several people when they were there, so they're probably just like so in shock.
Yeah, they don't
Even
really
them.
say that in Incredibles too, do they?
Like, we were probably just like, there he goes. You know what I mean? Like they probably didn't think anything of it.
I can't believe that's in a kid. Like I thought about it when I would think about like, oh, the first girl that gets sucked up into the jet engine and dies. That kind of messed me up a little bit as a kid. For some reason, I never thought about the syndrome. What's the message there? Like,
Kill the villain.
don't
Kill them.
don't genocide, or you will be horribly killed by your own.
No,
heroes.
I think it's don't idolize your idols, or like, you know what I mean. It's just like don't go overboard. But we want you for Dead Zone. So for Dead Zone, we want you to go overboard. You want us to love us so much, love your idols, which is us. Because
that was a lot of your brain had thoughts, and then your mouth
had other thoughts.
had thoughts.
So it's like, the Syndrome like is obsessed with Mr. Incredible.
Well, I
right? Because he wants to be a sidekick, right?
I don't think the message though is like don't look up, don't like idolize people, because his deal was that he did do a genocide. Like that was his deal. He did a genocide.
Yeah.
I think it's more like don't do a genocide.
Yeah, because he idolized Mr. Incredible and wanted to become a superhero, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's like why he did a genocide though.
Why did he do a genocide?
He did a genocide because like it was like, well, nobody deserves this power. Like if I can't have the power, if I can't be as powerful as that person, then nobody should have the power. Or like everybody gets
Dude,
it.
I haven't
so
watched
everybody's
The
on the
Incredibles
same.
in so long. I like you
Yeah,
saying
I mean,
that. I'm
I
like,
could
I
be wrong.
remember.
I think whatever the shallow point is, it's his comeuppance is he gets ate up by a
By a
plane.
jet engine, yeah, for
Like,
sure.
That's so. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. That's not my point. It's just that's a kid's movie, and the way that you defeated the villain was he got destroyed. He was destroyed.
Well,
Like he
here's
tried to
the thing,
sleep in the
it's
nether.
like-
He tried to
it's-
guard. In the
I
nether.
know that like we already talked about this, and I'm kind of aware that like it's the grisly nature, the gruesome nature in which Syndrome died, and stuff is kind of more the thing here. But like I don't know, we've talked about this, but just the fact that to me, like just in Kung Fu Panda 1, he just kills him. He just straight up kills him. Like he Poe himself kills him. He just might as well put a Glock on him and just gun him down right
Wait,
there.
Tai whatever, the tiger?
Tai Lung, yeah.
Tai Lung?
Yeah, and so I know that like I understand that it's not as gruesome. Like he explodes into like a fine golden mist. But that's actually insane. Like that is actually crazy that Poe looked him in the eye and killed him and then said skadoosh while that is wild.
Bro, if you ever decide to murder either three of us, please just say skadoosh right before you do it.
Like that,
Mr. President.
Skadoosh.
Like that's actually crazy. And then the third one, he kills himself by doing the whooshy finger hold on himself.
What?
And so he's committed suicide.
Dude, I
Yeah.
haven't seen the third one, so I don't...
Spoilers!
Spoilers!
I've seen the third one time, and I don't remember this.
Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah,
this
he
either.
kills himself.
Do,
Yeah,
are you talking about the
because-
fourth one, like the new one?
No, I'm talking about the third one.
Because I know
It's
there's like a
the one with
shapeshifter.
his dad. No, the one with his dad. That's
Oh,
the third one.
okay.
Yeah, I remember what happens, but I don't remember the
Yeah,
end.
he has to like go to the spirit world and take care of business. in there.
Oh.
He's
Yeah,
like,
that's right. That's
yeah,
right.
so he said, "Hey,
yeah,
Dad, that I
yeah.
just met. Watch me kill myself." in front of
Hey,
you."
I'm gonna kill myself. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
Just fucking killed
yeah.
himself.
All right, guys. Well, 4 minutes left in the stream. I think we're
4 minutes left. We have 15 minutes left.
Oh, do we have 15 minutes left?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm going by the timer of the session on Twitch Studio for 2 hours.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a question. When did y'all get your first phone? How old were you when you got your first phone?
Like iPhone or just regular like phone?
Good. Yeah, that's a good distinction. But let's just say phone for now, and then sure, like a smartphone when you had like
Yeah.
apps and stuff.
I
Like your social media
I
stuff.
think I was 13.
Yeah.
And it was a flip phone.
Yeah, Josh.
I think I was like 16.
Oh, even later. Yeah. Wow. Same with me. Like we had for whatever reason we opted to not get like a house phone when we moved one time, and instead just got like a family mobile phone. And then I was like, well, this is mine now. Like this is gonna be mine. So I just used it. I think it was like a buy one get one free on phones, and so we got the other number, and we're like, well, we use it as our home phone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, no, we won't. It'll be my phone. And so it's about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
So it probably would have been even later if I didn't just make that decision for myself. But yeah, otherwise, I think when I got a smartphone, I was probably about 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, I was 16, I think.
Do you think that you were like too young to have that sort of
Power.
unmitigated power?
Yeah. I think this goes back to I wanted to bring this up last when we were talking about social media, but I think one of the loudest voices that I've seen in like my bubble is like Bo Burnham talking about like how detrimental or how bad social media is for like the youth and like what it does to the chemistry of your brain and like the things he's been very vocal about. Which I completely agree with. So I think giving, especially now with TikTok, YouTube, fucking shit post to your brain 24/7. It kind of, I really am curious on how that affects your brain because it's like, oh my god, this is like a culmination of everything we talk about. But you as a parent wanting to give your like kid a phone. You have to like think of like the social identity of your kid being like, okay, if I don't give them this, they will be out of the loop and harder to make friends. If I do give them this, like, yes, they'll be easier to make friends, but their online identity may be like their brain might be skewed in a way that can like never return. It's like that constant dopamine hit. And like that's the kind of the things that I think. I don't know. I don't remember what the original question was, but I was kind of like culminating everything that we've talked about.
I saw this TikTok of a kid, and it's like a cute video, you know. But the kid has an Apple Watch, and he has an iPhone. And he was asking his mom. The kid's probably like 8 years old. He's asking his mom like, "Hey, can you just Venmo me? Can you Apple Pay me $1?" It's like a cute little video of a kid like trying to wrestle out like $1 from his parents, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, why does the kid have an iPhone and why does he have an Apple Watch?
And yeah, why does he
your
know
8-year-old
Apple Pay?
child? Yeah, why does your child have that? And I know it's easy just to sit here and judge the parent. I don't know the circumstance,
obviously,
okay? But
yeah.
I just could not imagine giving my child, even with like parental controls or whatever. The greatest argument I could see is like teaching them responsibility for expensive items at a young age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't drop it, you get the one. You know, whatever. But an Apple Watch too, and they didn't even seem like a very rich family. Like they were obviously well off.
Yeah.
But that's just wild to me. I was saying earlier, I was like making a joke. My kid's not getting a phone. Like I'm gonna give my kid a phone if I ever have one, but it's gonna be at the age of like 16.
Yeah.
They'll get like a flip phone.
Yeah.
They will still exist in 25 years. You know what I mean? Like they're not getting
them a goddamn BlackBerry. You know.
You're not gonna be able to search the internet on that thing. I tell you what, you can use the family computer in the computer room. Okay. which is a different computer than the one that Pop Pop has. Okay, Pop Pop's got his 4 computers, and then you can use the computer in the computer room. Okay, and guess what? It's still in Windows 11. Promise you that.
No, Windows
Promise
11.
you
No,
that.
it's like Windows Vista.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you get XP, baby. You're not using the holoputer. Sorry, you're not using the holoputer.
You're not using the Apple Vision Pro. All right, put it down.
That's
Put it
Pop-Pop
down.
holoputer. Put it down. Get out of VR. I don't want. Okay, here's one of the main reasons. My kids ain't getting no porn addiction. That's, No.
You know, when that kid hits puberty, his TikTok for you page would be just littered.
Yeah.
He's like, but Dad, I want to goon.
I'm like,
Dad, I want
you're-
to skibbity riz on the
Son.
Gooners.
Son, go jack it to your imagination. You are
I've
not.
been blessed with such a fat cock and huge loads.
I know, son.
Generational
And by the way,
talent, I'm not allowed to
wang.
use
But
it.
look, you're not getting access to that. Not you. When you're 18, you do whatever you want. I don't
Yeah.
care. I care, but like it's your
Yeah.
life. But no, I'm not letting because that's the burden that we all are well aware of. Like I can't subject that to the next.
Yeah.
Like I can't do it. So no, they're
Ryan
not,
says, I will have the most sex negative child. you've ever met."
yes.
That is
Absolutely.
That's very funny.
My goodness. Gee whiz. Stay off the holopooter. But in addition to that, speaking of VR, I was watching, this is totally just a non sequitur. Although it kind of does segue. That must be the word.
Just talk about it, dog.
Yeah. I was watching. You know, sometimes you're watching or listening to something, and they just give these line reads that are just so good. Like in Legally Blonde, we were watching, and he goes, "You don't know what the hell you're talking about." Just incredible line reads that just stick with you. So, y'all remember Chadley from Final Fantasy VII? He's like he's the one that does your VR Titan bosses, like your
Oh, like the kid?
Yeah, and he he's a Poindexter kid.
Yeah.
Yes, Aaron, I do. So he has a line read in Rebirth where he's created like this girl AI version of himself, and sometimes they like bicker back and forth. There's this one where she says to Cloud, she's like, and I'm worried, like, I care about your guys' safety. And Chadley, who's usually like this, he, talks very like upright and professional. He goes, he just like breaks here. He goes, what danger? It's VR. And the line read of that was just so
Was
good.
that in
What danger?
Rebirth or
It's VR. Yeah. He like totally it's so good. Oh my gosh. I've been thinking about that all day. It's VR. I'm like, dang, Chadley. Okay. Oh, I love it. It's great. Good job. Good job, voice actor. I would love to be a voice actor. Would y'all like to be voice actors? Should we do Dead Zone becomes voice actors?
Well, we already did.
You did that.
Yeah, but like really though.
Aaron, I think that chest and mid chest is not short. I think it I don't know. Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, there. Perfect.
Past the shoulders.
Perfect length. It would look so good. It would look so
Aaron, do
fucking
the bob.
good.
Bob, Aaron.
Don't do the bob. Don't do the bob.
The bob.
I don't think you should do the bob.
Josh, C word.
Cunt.
Yeah, do the bob. Thank you.
He's like a Staples button.
Yeah, exactly. For the C word. Oh, my God. I guess I have one more thing. I guess I have one more.
One more thing.
Yeah. And Josh will be able to answer this one probably better than you, Bryce. But
Sorry.
I saw sometimes I'll get recommended like the DoorDash subreddit or the Uber Eats subreddit. And somebody was talking, and so let me know what y'all would do in this situation. Somebody was talking about how they got an order where the instructions said, and they didn't read the instructions until after they accepted it. They said otherwise I probably wouldn't have accepted it. The instructions for the order said, hey, I'm disabled, I'm wheelchair bound. Please come inside the home when you're delivering and leave it inside. What would y'all do in that situation? Because you'd like to believe them, but that's also like they could easily be lying. You hear about these horror stories all the time where people are like, delivery drivers are like the easiest target, right, for violence and those kind of things. Would you go through with it if they said, "Hey, come bring it inside my house, come bring it to me inside my house"? Like that's, I don't know.
I know for a fact I absolutely would go in there. And like I would feel nervous and I would feel scared, but I just know I couldn't risk like my rating getting destroyed or like or, stuff like that. So like I would just risk it for a biscuit. But here's the thing, is my confidence level would be very much decided on the neighborhood I enter into, like where this person lives and the state of the neighborhood and their house, which it's not good to judge a book by its cover and whatever. And sure, you could enter into the nicest neighborhood in the world and get axe murdered in the front door. That's totally possible. However, I think validly my comfort level would raise or lower drastically depending on the neighborhood.
That's a great point. Bryce is someone who has not done a lot of DoorDash deliveries or any other
I
kind of
have done
deliveries.
DoorDash, just not that much.
Right, so that was what I said.
I know it wasn't. So I would do it. I feel like I don't have any other reason not to trust this, not to believe this person. So I'm like, all right, I'm going in. I'm doing it.
Wow, y'all just made this so easy. Okay.
Yeah, no, because I don't know. I do like, I guess. Okay, let me walk you through what I'm doing. I see the message on my phone. I have the food in my hand. I probably will knock on the door or crack it open and be like, "Hey, it's your DoorDash driver. Is it all right if I come in?" And then that's probably like what I would do. And I was just like, I saw on your message, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just like, and they're like, "Oh yeah, come on in." Just like set it all down like over here on the thing. And I was like, okay, chill. We're good.
See, this is where, Bryce, as you said earlier, this women's perspective is really important because as Aaron is saying in the chat, yes, Aaron literally just said it after I started that. It's absolutely,
easily for sure.
Yeah,
the person that made the comment was saying, "Oh, sorry, Josh, I keep talking over you, but because you're so quiet now, because you're so far away, I'm sorry."
I was gonna say like I think absolutely because like we're men and stuff, we can make that decision a lot more comfortably, and also like I know that like if it were my girlfriend saying, "Hey, I'm about to go DoorDash this person's order into someone's house," I say, "No, you're not doing that. That's crazy."
Yeah.
That's
okay.
I didn't know if that was gonna stop.
Yeah. Sometimes, Josh, it's so funny. It's not a problem. You end it with a cadence of like there's about to be more.
Ryan, you just entered the frame like the Mr. Beast, like, No, but Big Toe, yeah, you're exactly right. That's
absolutely, because
it's definitely.
The person that posed the situation was like, "I'm a girl, I'm 19, I'm like 5 feet tall." But like, yeah, I would be very concerned about that. Absolutely. Even as me now, I'd probably be very hesitant. Bryce, I don't know.
Absolutely. I think I'd also be
hey.
like nervous about it. Like I'd be nervous, but I'd be like, all right, I got to do what I got to do kind of thing.
Like it's one thing to like put it down on the floor when you open the door. But in this situation, they were like, "Hey, come bring it to the kitchen and like put it on the counter." Like, man, I really got to go in the depths.
Yeah.
I don't know why your message was just deleted. What did they say?
It was a clip.
And that's so embarrassing that Nightbot said, "Not on my watch." He jumped on you.
There it is.
Wait, I gotta watch this clip. What is this?
Here, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up for us to watch.
Okay. React on them.
We'll react to our own clip and then we'll piece it out. I had this muted. Hold on.
That's funny. That's funny. We are goofing.
That's a great clip.
Yeah.
Thank you, Type
Thank you, you legend.
That's a straight to TikTok right there.
Yeah, you know, Aaron and Kathy, y'all have this ongoing feud about who's the greater Dead Zone fan. Where
None
are
of
the
y'all
clips
making
y'all are
clips.
making?
Yeah, where are the
Ooh, where are the
clips?
clips y'all are making? Oh, weird. Yeah, Josh is very funny. We don't give enough credit for how funny he is.
Yeah, Josh is so funny.
I have my moments.
I think you are the moment. That's all I'm saying.
Thanks.
Whoa.
What do you think about that? What do we think about that?
I
Ooh,
agree.
he's spitting? Are we spitting?
I
Are
think
we
you're
spitting?
spitting.
Yeah.
I think you're spitting.
I think you
dude.
should
I'm
spit
I want to
saying
be
right
I want to be
here. I think you
spitting
should
and
spit
gagging
right
and
here.
choking on it
Yep,
personally.
Exactly. That's
Hey,
exactly
that's
what
just
I said.
but that's just me
It's
and
just
Bryce.
a theory, a game theory.
It's a gay theory.
It's a gay theory.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Bryce?
We closing us out?
Hey Bryce?
Hey,
Did you have a good time?
I had a great time.
Yeah?
What about you, Ryan? Did you have a good time?
Josh? Did you have a good time, Josh?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's all right. I think it was all right.
It was all right because it's over now. And here's what I'm thinking: like the 600 of you that are watching right now, I think I got my notes right. Yeah, the 600 of you watching right now. I need y'all to do me a favor. We won't be back here until Friday. That's like 48 hours. It's like 44 hours. I need you to please not kill yourself. The withdrawal you'll experience during that time will be immeasurable. All right, boys? Like they're gonna feel it. It's gonna hit hard.
Yeah, y'all saw, dude. My depression rating was really high too,
Yeah.
so this is really dangerous for me.
Because it's been
I
almost a
can-
week since we streamed. That's why.
true. Yeah.
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 I need you all to please hang in there and stay alive until Friday. Because we haven't even decided we're playing it probably Elden Ring, maybe not, though. Like it's gonna be us again. If you can believe it, it's still gonna be us on that stream. And we'll be there for you.
And Josh, do you want to say anything?
He's trying to cut
No.
me off. He knows I'll do this bit forever. And
Yeah.
he's trying to cut me off.
No, I have a good segue, and I want to make sure Josh gets something before I say it.
Wait, you don't have a segue. You have a sequit.
Yeah.
Try to
Josh,
segue.
what you got?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all. For everyone that tuned in, everyone that participated, and everyone that just ran in the background. Appreciate you and love you, and thank you, and bye.
Hey, Josh, before you close your lips for the rest of the stream, can you give us a sandwich review?
Yeah, actually a little bit disappointing. I really thought it was going to be more than it was. I should have toasted it.
You have
And
toasted it.
I know I should have, and normally I
Should've
would. I
toasted it.
just wasn't thinking about it. And at that point, I was just so eager to eat
If
it.
only somebody said to toast it.
But yeah, no, it was heard. Like I heard.
No, it was heard.
I'm just saying, like I was so eager to eat it. You know what I mean? That I just couldn't wait any longer.
Mhm.
But it was good. It was still good. It was roast beef, and it was good. I wanted to get some Gouda. They didn't have any Gouda, but
I don't know. A beef and cheddar? That's called an Arby's special, baby.
yeah, I mean, it was still phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but I just love a good Gouda. Anyways, I'll give it 6 out of 10.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe we'll make a better one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, stream, whether you just ate a 6 out of 10 sandwich or you're going to kill yourself.
Those are your two paths in life. Robert Frost, baby.
We'll see you on the other side.
See you there. Champs. Chumps.